Welcome everybody back to the world of Everlast at long last. Holy smokes. Yeah, happy new year, happy 2023 to everybody, and we're excited to finally be back streaming Everlast with you guys. So yeah, without further ado, actually before getting into anything, apologize for not being able to stream last week. Obviously there was a little bit of sickness in my household and I was stranded at my in-laws house without any of my streaming stuff. So apologize for that, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this.
Well, first and foremost, Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy Year
Yeah.
of the Rabbit.
Yeah.
But yeah, here in Japan, everything is rabbit themed, so
Yep.
I really
Everything.
know these zodiac things, and that's fun. But we are here. We're streaming Everlast, and we're so excited to have all of you here together with us. I am Kyle LaFont. I am the Fate Weaver here of Everlast, and the creator of the game as well. And I'm joined here with most of our lovely players of this game. So let's go ahead and introduce. I'll go ahead and begin with Zill. Typically he's played by Max, but Max is unable to make it today. He is basically the group tank. He is part of Eclaas Eeas, and he is a human from Helix. He is also a blacksmith, and he has a mouse named Waffle. He wields a great axe, and he soaks damage like a sponge. And then next we're going to go ahead and jump to Cole.
Hi everyone, I am Cole. Can you hear me? Cool.
Yeah.
And I play Luxolia of the Silverwood, and she's the resident healer of the group. Is a woman, even though I'm clearly not one of those. So that's fun. And yeah, pretty much she's from the Silverwood, hence Luxolia of the Silverwood, and she's a Glyven and makes sure people don't die.
It's a good job. Very useful job. Let's go ahead and jump over to Connor.
Yes, hi guys. So I play Belbin. Belbin is a DPS character. He does not like listening to any authorities, even if the person telling him what to do is not an authority by any means. Feeling a little hurt though after that last battle that we had. We didn't have Luxalia to heal us, so he's feeling a little bloodied, a little beaten. He's seen better times.
Great. And we're going to go ahead and move down to Thordane, who again is played by Jonathan, but hasn't been able to be with us for the time being. But he plays a woodland elf who specializes in tracking and doing all kinds of things. He is a hunter, and so he supports the party on the road and then basically fires arrows from the back lines as he, helps the rest of the party fighting off, in this case, giant hordes of pirates. Go ahead and move in finally to Dane.
So before we get going, I will be playing Thordain. I've been playing Thordain for the good bit. And one thing you cannot forget, Kyle, he's a man of science. Thordain is a man of science, and he'll just do anything if science is involved.
That's true.
But besides that, I'm Dane, or Forged. You can call me Forged as well. And I play a DPS Bard class. It is a Blade Dancer class by the name of Mistletoe Yuki. She is a draken from the far reaches of the north called Flamburge. Her being a silver draken, she dons silver scales, although she's very humanoid in form, and she wields two broadswords, and she likes to fight things like Belbin. She's not feeling too well after the last battle, but she's excited for the future of Eclaas Eeas.
Exactly. Love it. Love it. So let's go ahead and jump in. Before we turn it over to our players, we're going to go ahead and have a couple of things. So first and foremost, copyright disclaimers. Yay, fun things. One thing that I really do want to emphasize, however, about this game of Everlast, before even just going into some of like the normal nitty gritty of it, this is a game that essentially is being made for all of you. It's something that we very much welcome homebrews of, and basically stuff for your own use. Yes, a lot of the stuff that is copywritten are things such as like the graphics, the story, all that kind of stuff, like all the intellectual property that's involved in Everlast. But we don't want that to be able to stop you from using it to have really fun homebrew content. I know in the recent news, there's been stuff going around with another system where they're pretty much taking lots of homebrew stuff, and all those of you who are listening know. We want you to know that we're here as a fellow creator in these kinds of games. We want you to be able to, feel free to have a platform, have a rule set to be able to use to continue creating your works, and especially for those of you who make a living off of this, to be able to do so accordingly. On the Fantasy Forge website, coming up here relatively soon, we're going to be opening, basically placing the basic content of this game out there for you guys to be able to look at, to be able to be able to make your own kind of like creations, and if you want to be able to use it, like some of the general system itself, in order to do that, that's wonderful. And by doing that, all we ask is that you just share our content with those that are out there, and bring them to us so they can figure out like what this beautiful game is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right back into this game. Yes.
Quickly, I do have a quick announcement about we do have an Instagram account for Everlast as well. So that's something that's new since the last time we streamed. So it should be in the About section here on Twitch. So feel free to go to that About section, click that Everlast page, and then you'll get all of our updates as far as like the art that we have, as far as like music, different map packs, like everything that's going into the game and any big updates that's going to be happening. You'll be able to follow that live at the Instagram page. So feel free to go over there and give it a follow and follow along on the journey, aside from just us having our bi-monthly stream of Everlast. So.
And one last thing, for those of you who do like RPGs, Fantasy Forge Studios is expanding their world into more lands of RPGs. Coming up here at some point soon, we will actually be officially streaming Adventures of Middle-earth, a Lord of the Rings D&D campaign that we're going to have with Dane, but also some other people. I know those of you, some of you guys actually follow the channel and that kind of stuff. So we're actually going to be streaming a weekly stream of Adventures of Middle-earth for that, and more news to follow on that, but that should be coming up right around the corner pretty soon here. So it's very exciting. We're going to, have more content for you guys here on Fantasy Forge Studios with all kinds of tabletop RPGs, which are going to be really fun. So
yeah, cool.
Absolutely. So let's bring ourselves back into what's going on here. Let me actually jump into some music here so you guys can have some stuff. Anyways, bringing ourselves back, reminding us all of, what happened in the past month and a half since we've been streaming. So going all the way back to, early December, the party of Eclaas Eeas, they had made their way to this island called Aishen Island. And with that, they, helped to protect the island from a sorcerer. They've gone and they've visited dragons. They've done all kinds of things for this island. They've even met Gunter, who's basically a famous war hero, and all kinds of citizens, of Takai Town and Flamburge, as it were. However, during all of this, they made their way over to Flamburge, which is at the base of this giant volcano, Aishen volcano on Aishen Island. And during that time, they had spent a good chunk of it speaking with the king, Nalgoric Cragheim. Now Nalgoric is the keeper of the Earth Pillar, and upon a little bit of a conversation, they realized that Eclaas Eeas is now the holders of one of the keys of one of the four main pillars of the Earth Pillar, which they, in earlier previous adventures, had basically claimed for their own. And so with Nalgoric and them, Eclaas Eeas was charged with the task of going to, unite the other two, which belongs to the Fesh and Fey elves, and also the people of Skyspire Island, to be able to summon them there, as a strange power has begun to take effect on each of the pillars, specifically from what Eclaas Eeas have experienced, the Earth Pillar and the Flame Pillar. And by gathering the group of them, hopefully they'll be able to find answers for that. But as they were going and investigating this flame pillar that is within the city, immediately the volcano exploded. And with this going on, everybody was taking cover and freaking out and whatnot. And Luxalia actually went off with a couple of guards to go try to figure out what's going on. As Eclaas Eeas had just recently fought off a sorcerer, and as Nalgoric Cragheim had explained to the party, this sorcerer had come and attempted to try to coerce the people of Flamburge, the Draken of Flamburge, to unite with him and do his bidding, to which they very, very sternly rejected. And so there's been some magic at foot, especially on this island, and Eclaas Eeas is having none of it. So Luxalia has gone and tried to seek out kind of any kind of magical power that's maybe affecting the flame pillar, as it were. But as that was happening, a group of guards actually came to Nalgoric and the rest of the party of Eclaas Eeas, saying that there were pirate ships that had docked on the northern shore of Aishen Island. And with that, the rest of Eclaas Eeas made their way up to the northern gates, to where they fought off an entire siege of all kinds of pirates, unknowing what they are up to, other than the fact that these pirates really wanted to make their way into the city for whatever reason. And after a long, arduous battle and defense of this bridge, the defense of this gate, Eclaas Eeas was successful in their endeavors of fending off the wicked men that had come to try to take, and that is where we're going to go ahead and zoom back in. But first, before we jump to the main group of Eclaas Eeas, we're actually going to rewind a little bit and go to Luxalia. Basically, to set this up for you a little bit, Cole, you have made your way into the city itself, looking for any signs of any kind of magic energy, mana energy, whatever could be affecting the pillar. And with that, you are actually armed with 2 guards, with a bunch of others kind of looking at other homes. And one thing that you remember actually on your way coming into the city before going into kind of the central keep where Nalgoric is there was a volcano lab, and perhaps that could be a place that there were answers. And so we're jumping a little bit back in time, kind of during the whole battle sequence. But Luxalia, you are making your way through the city. Other than the volcano place, there might be other places of interest. But first and foremost, I'm going to have you make a or an elemental skill check for me.
All right. Also, clarifying questions.
Yes.
Do I know the battle's happening,
You have
or
no
can
idea.
I not hear it?
Yeah, you have no idea. So
Okay.
this north gate is quite a bit up the mountain, and you're not able to view it from where you are, and you're not really able to hear it because it's far enough away. So you have no idea.
Okay. Elemental. Let's see. Elemental.
It's going to be under your strength.
7.
7.
Oh!
So
Yeah, not good.
You're looking throughout the city, and as you see kind of some of these shattered boulders from rocks that had been flown from the volcano during the eruption, you haven't noticed anything or really felt anything that speaks mana to you. One of the things that you do feel very clearly is just the sheer heat from this lava. It's all around. Yeah, it's
Vagueness.
it's absolutely rough, and you can tell that the guards that are next to you, they don't care. These gold draken, this is where they thrive, is in heat. But it's actually one thing that you did notice is it had become unnaturally hot here in recent days, even back in Takai Town. And so maybe it's a little bit to do with that, but your kind of senses are messed up a little bit as you continue to walk down the mountains towards kind of the main part of the city. again, one of the places you can look is basically the volcano laboratory. There's a market square too that's there, but nobody is out and about walking. Everybody has pretty much taken shelter inside their homes, which are either carved into the side of the mountain or made of, but basically like sheer rock. And so if there's any places, there's no direction per se that your kind of manic sense is taking you, but down the mountain's a good place for that. So,
All right. Another clarifying question: Is this the same sorcerer that we destroyed, or is this a different guy, or do I know?
So you don't know if there's actually anybody there that is putting sorcery, but in previous sessions, Eclaas Eeas, you guys did mention that maybe part of the reasons for the flickering of this pillar and the waning of power has to do with some kind of magic. Not only had you fought off the sorcerer of Lolothi, Amios, but if you remember way back at the Earth Pillar, there was actually a cultist that was there too, that was seeking power. So that's kind of something that you guys wondered together, was if there was any kind of like magic or anyone within Flamburge that, you know, is doing something to the pillar that's causing this.
Got it. Okay. So you said the volcano lab, and where else?
So there's a main part of the city that's a little bit further down, kind of closer to the south gate. There's a lot of like kind of marketplaces. There is a couple inns that are down there too, which again, those are always good places to go for a little bit more information if you're seeking, you know, of any. But again, one thing you do notice is there's nobody out and about, as everyone has pretty much taken cover. So the streets are mostly empty, with the exception of like the couple search parties that are out.
Wonderful. I'm gonna go. I'm assuming I haven't searched the lab yet. Yes.
No, yeah, you're making your way down towards, and that's something that maybe some of the guards could bring up. You know, you're looking for something that's involving the volcano, so maybe a volcano lab could be something that's of help.
Yeah. Volcano lab. I'm gonna go ask around and hopefully find the volcano lab.
Mm-hmm. So you vaguely remember that it's kind of close to the entrance of the main castle, but the guards, you ask them, and they take you right to it. Fortunately, they know their city pretty well, so they take you right to it.
Do either of you have a fan? It's toasty down here.
They kind of look at you, and it's just like, you do realize you're just going to be blowing around hot, ashy air, correct?
Yeah, but I'm used to having Bellman, who that's pretty much all that he does is blow around hot air. So but, you know, I don't know. Maybe it was a comfort thing. Never mind.
Unfortunately, we don't have any of the likes. We do have some bellows back at the forge that perhaps could be of use. Just walking around.
I'll think about it. But I feel like the forge is probably also hot, so let's just keep going. I'll just keep wiping away the sweat.
You make your way.
Do Glyvin sweat?
Yeah, that's what I was
like dogs.
Oh yeah, they sweat.
Okay.
They're very they're more human than they are like fox, but yeah, they do sweat.
Cool. I'm just gonna like be using my tails because I have like 5 or something at this point.
Something like that.
And just wiping away sweat where I can and then flicking it at whoever's.
Yeah, and as each of these sweat drops are flicked, like ooh, sorry, Mike. As each of these sweat drops are flicked, they almost like just evaporate into the air as it just like goes. It's pretty toasty. Fortunately,
you know what? I have 5 tails. I'll just be like, why am I doing this? I'll just start fanning myself with my tails.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And you make your way down this mountain, fanning yourself as you're just like, sweating. Within no time, you find your way over to the volcano lab. This is an impressive looking building, definitely larger than some of the other kind of more ramshackle homes that are not really ramshackle. It's a bad way. Rustic homes that are around, kind of carved into the mountain, as this is a freestanding building. And you can tell it's actually a relatively new make. compared to some of the other like kind of blackened soot buildings. And you make your way into which, fortunately, it is wide open for you. And you make your way into kind of this main hall. And you see an assortment of various kinds of rocks. A lot of them look to be like volcanic, like kind of like pumice, like that kind of rock. Some kind of like some shales and obsidians and that kind of stuff. And actually, towards the back, too, you find that there are some actually more precious gems kind of on display. Some large rubies, some elemental looking crystals. You definitely are drawn actually a little bit to some of these crystals as far as tapping into your elemental kind of connection to that. But you don't see anybody right off the bat like in here. Go ahead and make.
Does anybody work around here?
Go ahead and make a focus skill check as you continue to walk around and look and calling out as well for people.
Woohoo! Focus is
Big summer blowout.
13.
13. Yeah, you make your way around, and there you notice that there's kind of like a door that's kind of in the back left corner. It's slightly ajar, and you can see what looks to be some kind of candlelight coming out of there. As you're calling, nobody answers you, but you do see that what looks to be something back there. So you can attempt to enter if you wish.
Yeah! Also, wait! Can I look at some of the gems first?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So again, as I mentioned, there's some like metamorphic rocks, there's some precious gemstones, and there's elemental kind of crystals.
Ooh, obsidian. Very nice.
Anything that you meets your fancy? Gemstones, crystals, or rocks?
Do any of them have like cool powers that I could use?
Powers.
Or are they like part of the lab? Like, would I be stealing if I took some?
So it looks like they're on a display, as far as like a kind of like an exhibit. They're not just kind of just like strewn throughout. They look like they're
not
like
just
there
like in
for
the
people
wall
to see.
somewhere.
Yeah, no. They're there on display very obviously. So.
Got it. Okay. Well, do any of them seem abnormally magical?
Yes, a couple of them. Some of these crystals actually that you see kind of in the back. They're spread throughout some of the precious gemstones, but there's 3 in particular that are kind of together that you do notice. All of them are actually reddish crystals in color, to where they actually grow almost more like blackened at the tips. And these, you can actually feel that they're radiating some kind of manic energy coming from them.
Oh my! Duly noted.
Okay.
I'll just say a quick blessing, I guess. Hold on. I'm sorry, I got a tickle in my throat. All right. Yeah, hydrate. Good call. Ooh, thanks, Forge. Oh yeah, Luxalia hydrates as well, because she's toasty. All right. I'll say a quick blessing over them. Amaterasu, bless these. Cool. And then I'll go investigate to look if anyone can help me like remove them from the display.
Okay.
Something.
Okay.
See if anyone's back there.
So you make your way and you creak the door open a little, and you see what looks to be a figure hunched in a chair over a desk. He is looking very closely and scribbling something very vigorously. Almost as if kind of like in a panic, or maybe it's just sheer concentration. You're not quite sure what's going on there, but this seems like an older Draken gentleman, like old, like far in his years as far as Draken years go.
Yes.
So,
excuse me, distinguished gentlemen. Do you
he
work
looks around.
here?
What are you doing here? And question: did you bring the guards in with you, or is it just you coming in?
I mean, I just kind of kept going, and whether they followed or not is their prerogative, I guess.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna
I didn't
say that
specifically
they're
say,
just kind
"Come
of
with
looking out.
me."
Okay, yeah, they're
Okay,
just kind of in the area, but they're not immediately visible to basically this man, this individual. But he looks at you, and he kind of has like kind of this wild, like inquisitive look in his eye, and he's just like, "What are you doing here?" And he kind of scans you up and down. "A Glyven, I see." And he kind of straightens. He has a pair of like very simple glasses, and he's just like squinting. "What can I do for you?"
Well, yes. My name is Luxalia, and I work with Eclaas Eeas. You may have heard of us. Um,
Eh?
there was well, you may know since you work in the volcano lab that the volcano is currently erupting, and
Well, why do you think I'm so hard at work? And he like shows like his quill, and he's like pointing at papers. He's like, "This is something in all of my years I've never experienced an eruption of quite the magnitude of this."
yeah, we were also like, huh, this is strange. And like, we've been to the Earth Pillar and I think another
Wait.
pillar. I don't
You
really
have?
remember. But this one might be being tampered with as well, because the other two were, or other one. It's been a long time, okay? I don't remember. But a lot of them are being tampered with, so I was like, maybe there's like a magician who's. So I'm just like investigating some mana stuff, and some of those crystals out there seem pretty sus.
Yes, those are some crystals that have been harvested from the volcano over the years, and unfortunately, they are on display, but we haven't had a whole lot of visitors to be able to come look. I can tell you all about them if you wish. And he kind of bids you closer, and he's just and he kind of mentions, "You do realize those crystals? You have a very good eye. They are actually very much the same type of crystal that the flame pillar. You said you've investigated it, and it's a little bit. What was that strange word that you used? Suspicious, I'm assuming."
Yes, suspicious, yes.
Suspicious.
That's what the kids are saying these days,
Ah, yes. The kids. Not a lot of them come this direction, unfortunately. But, the study of volcanoes is always open. The door's always open for those who are willing to learn. So he stands up and he kind of like,
yes.
ugh. And he does actually rise quite a bit taller than you, Luxalia, even though he's a little bit hunched over.
Wow.
He is definitely very broad-shouldered, but you can tell the years have kind of warped him, kind of hunched. He stands and he has like this cane, and he kind of walks you over as he shuffles out the door towards these crystals.
Yeah.
So these crystals are the ones that you're interested, eh?
Yeah, these three right here, they're just like a little more magical than like the others, / than what I'm normally used to seeing, and I'm like, maybe that's not normal.
Yes.
Maybe that's part of the reason the pillar's all, ooh.
So these crystals were actually farmed thousands of years before either of our times, and they belonged to the original inside the crater of the volcano. When there is enough pressure, when there is enough manic energy that exists within nature itself, sometimes it forms such contraptions as, these magical, per se, manic crystals. And
Yes.
they perform all kinds of interesting effects. Be very careful with touching them. And he opens one of the glass cases, and he kind of holds one of them, and he holds it close to you. And as he does so, you can very much feel kind of just like this energy that's coming off. It's almost kind of like this magnet kind of repelling you. There is very, very potent mana that exists within these, and I do believe in all of my years of study that this is a very similar phenomena that exists inside the flame pillar itself. And strangely enough, the flame pillar is, I have noticed, lacking in power. These, however,
yes.
he points to the three of them in front of him, and especially the one that's in his hand. These do not seem to be suffering the same effects. It's very curious
yes.
indeed, isn't it?
Are you saying the flame pillar and these gems are made of the same substance?
I hypothesize so.
Wow. Do you think we could, like, put them next to the flame pillar and the flame pillar will, like, soak up their energy and then help the flame pillar do better?
Well, it might help stabilize it for a time. Unfortunately,
Yes.
it seems like every day that flame pillar seems to be losing some of its energy, and it's worth a shot, and I've always wondered, but unfortunately, dangerous times call for extra measures to be taken.
Indeed. Indeed. Do you have any other, maybe places or leads that you think there might be a suspicious hooded or non-hooded figure who is magical? Or is there like a place, like a cave that you guys don't usually go to or something where someone could just hide out, do their sus things?
Ah, seems like you put a lot of thought into this. And this is very good for the young to be so interested in the likes of, phenomena. But you must note that you are in Flamburge. There is no safer city in all of Everlast. I do say, we got giant walls to protect us, and not many would come close to a volcano of such magnitude. And especially with, I'm not sure that you know this, but Smoldran has left, a few weeks ago, and, there's definitely danger afoot. But if what you say is true, it might be good to be able to keep an ear out, better yet, an eye out for some of these things. And I will definitely make sure to keep an eye on these crystals. However, I do wonder if they would be any of use. And he just kind of sits there and he ponders for a second, and he just kind of stares, like, blankly at you. And then all of a sudden he refocuses and he says, Any caves? Not sure about caves. There are quite a few houses in the hill. In the mountainside, as it were, so I guess there's plenty of those, but wild caves here, there's not too many of those, especially those that aren't looked after or watched by some kind. There is the sanctuary that is at the very top of the northern part of the city, and that's only for authorized personnel only. If you wish to go pay homage to that, you can do so as you will. It is a very ancient site full of all kinds of magic powers, all the way from way back at the very first age, and he just continues rambling on and on. He loves this history. You can tell that he studied this immensely. And, it's something to be proud of being part of this city. Way back in the first age, when this city was a Shalinthil, actually. It was one of the very first cities of mankind here on Everlast, and he kind of just continues on this whole, myriad of all kinds of stories, which you've heard some of, but, it's good to be reminded. One thing that I do want you to note, though, Cole, is during your holiday phase, you actually spent a decent amount of time studying at the shrines that were at the top. And some of the things that you learned seem to kind of fit what's going on with kind of what's being said. And you just start to think to yourself probably more and more, it might be a good place to check out this shrine area with the statue.
Yes. I like shrines.
Cool.
I'll check that out next. Thanks, old man. What was your name, by the way?
My name. I wasn't prepared to say such things.
I know, you've probably not used it in so long because everyone just calls you, like, Professor or something, Because that's what you call people in labs.
I am a volcanologist, if I do say so myself, and I am one of few that exist here in Flamburge. You can just call me, yes, I like that, the Professor.
The Professor. Hey, Professor, do you have, like, 3 red... Wait! You have the 3 crystals. Are they like a ball that could maybe, like, hold a monster of sorts that I could take with me on my journey?
Like a dragon egg?
Something like that, maybe one's like more grassish, likes grass, maybe one likes water, maybe one likes fire. I don't know, just thinking out loud.
I don't know what kind of children's stories you are listening to these days, but
These are just manic crystals. I mean, they're pretty
Oh.
fantastical, but no,
Gotcha.
I don't believe that there are any creatures that live inside of them. Although,
Gotcha,
that
gotcha.
is another curious hypothesis, that maybe a little bit of more experimentation with these would...
I mean, maybe if you like poke the crystals a little bit, you just kind of poke them on, then maybe they'd come out. Maybe they're in there. You just gotta encourage them, you know?
He's still holding this one, and he
Just like, oh yes, quite curious indeed. Let's see. He
Yeah.
pokes.
There was just, similar stories and tales back where I'm from, but doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll go check out the shrine. Thanks.
Yes, absolutely.
Thanks, Professor.
and then you guys are out in the main room, and so he sees that there's the two guards with you. He's like, "Hey,
Hey, young whippersnappers! You go make sure she gets there nice and safe. We here at Flamburge are going to be good to our guests. Isn't that right?
Aw, thanks. You're pretty tall, kind of like an oak tree. Can I call you Professor Oak?
An oak tree? Huh, I've actually never seen one of those in my plenty of years here on this in this world. I do say they're probably from the mainland.
and he begins again just rambling about like the different kinds of trees that are like here, like on Aishen Island.
Most of them are
Professor
palm
Birch?
trees and birch. No, no birch trees
Professor
here.
Birch.
Lots of palms. You could call me Professor Palm
Oh,
if you're gonna call me
Professor
some kind of
Palm.
tree.
Okay, I like it. Bye, Professor Palm.
Until we meet again, young one.
I like him. What a guy.
I didn't expect any of that. What the heck?
Neither did I.
I
All
love
right.
it. Oh my god.
I go to the shrine, which is in the north, right?
Yeah, so you're currently right now in about like the south east of this island, of this city, and so you make your way again, led by the Draken. No use getting lost. Although at this point you start to notice, with a sizable gap between the volcano erupting and now,
Yeah.
definitely.
Can I feel any other mana energy?
Go ahead and make an elemental skill check for me.
Okay. 8.
8.
I'm doing well.
As you're walking, not
Oh wait,
so much.
no wait, 9? Hold on, I actually have to check. What is it? +4, 9. Nice.
As you walk, not so much. It's less of an elemental energy that's around, but you're actually, one thing that you do notice as people start to emerge actually from their buildings, from whatever the structures they were in, is all eyes are on you, and it's less of like an elemental energy and more of like an energy of curiosity that's like around you. You can definitely feel like the Draken themselves. I mean, you kind of get similar vibes from Yuki, but the Draken themselves seem to have some kind of innate elemental something to them. And so you're kind of, pinging all over the place when it comes to but nothing like so much where it's just like, I'm really suspicious of this specific person to like go investigate them. But it's up to you if you want to.
Luxalia thinks to herself, it's just another manic Monday. And then keeps on walking.
Is it a Monday? I actually have like a calendar for you guys. No, it is not a Monday. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
But yes, you guys make your way up, and you notice that the rise itself becomes quite steep. There's a path that leads to the right, and there's a staircase that leads to the left. You make your way up the staircase, and this takes you to an enormous golden statue, actually. And the statue is of some kind of almost angelic looking creature. But it is guarded at the top by what look to be 4 guards. Each of them are carrying spears and are actually very well armed. They have giant sets of chainmail. They have a shield in each arm, and then also spears. Definitely gold Draken, obviously, of make, and you can tell that they are very surprised to see you. But being with the guard, they don't even question you and let you pass. This statue, as you make your way to its base, rises about probably a good 20-25 feet tall, and it is of solid gold. It doesn't seem to be tarnished at all, but from the general gist, I'm going to actually have you make a knowledge skill check for me.
Hey! Alright. Am I knowledgeable? Nope. I'm not rolling well today, guys.
It's fine.
Oh, boy.
Getting it all out early. I like it.
6!
From the general make, you're like, this looks old.
Yeah.
You don't know what age it's from, but you're like,
Nice.
yeah, it looks pretty old.
It's probably from the Golden Age.
The golden age of Draken civilization. But you do notice that it is a angelic looking creature. It's got what looks to be 6 wings coming out the back. And it has 2 sets of arms and a face that it's not very detailed. It's actually kind of, when people wear those suits, those green suits, body suits, and it's there's not really features from their face. And it's just kind of general shape of a face. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, kind of.
That's the gist that you get from this
morph
face.
suits?
Yeah, like a morph suit.
Yeah. All right.
That's a general gist. No one in particular, but it's
Okay.
wearing what looks to be some kind of robes of some kind, and it's standing on probably a 5 foot tall golden platform as well.
Ooh.
As you investigate this up and down, you do see that there is basically a small little circle that's on the base, and there seem to be 4 different holes that are in it from what look to be keys. Keys would fit in this.
Yes. I ask the gentlemen who are with me, where are the keys?
Oh, surely you don't know what you're in the presence of, do you?
Why don't we say I know, but you tell me anyway.
This is an ancient statue that comes from a long line throughout all of our history. The whole purpose of this town is to worship at the base of this statue.
Wait a second.
Is the clarifying question, is the angel seraphim thing the statue, or is that an image on the door?
No, it's the statue itself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So the gold door is just a big gold door. There's not
It's not really a
Nice.
door. It's more of a circle, kind of indentation on it with 4 holes in it, keyholes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were describing the door to the shrine or whatever.
No, it's all outdoors. Basically, it's up on this cliff. Kind of think of Jesus, King of the Universe, in
Sure, in Brazil
in
or
Brazil.
Rio or wherever.
Think something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, gotcha.
Ah, yes, it's all clear to me now. This is Omnia? No, it's I know Amaterasu, which you all call something different. I forget. It's been a while. Yeah, I don't know. Tell me about it.
So this is an image of the Serac. The Serac were divine guardians that existed well back, and this is all familiar to you. It's he's going through some kind of this religious history. But the Serac are the closest creations to Alamnia himself. And at the creation of this world, it is said that Aishen volcano was the very place where Alamnia created life. With that, this is a shrine to basically dedicated to Alamnia as a sign of protection over this area, as a sign of protection. Rumor says that it existed all the way since the days of Ashalinthil, but those could just be rumors. Who knows?
And what are
People-
the key like holes
Yes.
for?
People come here to worship, and the holders of each of those 4 keys are the only ones who are able to access this shrine. And underneath is said to host... To be honest, I actually don't know what is below this. But it's only in great and dire need that, this is to be accessed, which is why the 4 keyholes belong to the 4 keepers of each of the 4 pillars. The Sky Spire pillar, which is the Sky pillar,
yes.
the Earth pillar, the Fire pillar, which Kragheim, our lord, holds,
Yes.
and finally the Water pillar, which King Farrand of the Fetchin Fae does hold. And it is only to be accessed in times of great need. And that being said,
I see.
by assembling each of the 4 there, hopefully some kind of mystery is to be revealed. This has never actually been done, so I have been told. It's never been deemed a great enough worry for this to actually be conducted. But from what I do hear, it is a very ancient and very secretive type of power that is within this. Something that is only called upon in world-ending crises. And let's be honest, I mean, a volcano erupting, that can't be an an earth-ending crisis. I mean, it's a volcano after all. It happens.
Right. Cool. Where is the guy? What was his name that you said holds the fire one?
Nalgoric,
Fire
our
key?
king, Nalgoric Kragheim.
Yes.
Yes, he
Have
is...
we met him?
Yes.
I wonder to myself.
Yeah, you have. You've had lots of conversation with him. And actually,
Right.
until you separated, you were with him and with the rest of the group. So,
Yes.
yes, you were
Good to
recently with him.
know.
And
Okay.
you do know that he does hold the key because he did mention that. So again, this is all good. It's all right. It's all
Yeah.
it's all good.
Sorry, guys.
Refreshing.
All good.
Okay. I'm gonna search around for any, suspicious mana activity.
Yes. So
Stuff.
specifically mana. Go ahead and make an elemental skill check for me, and you're going to be doing this with hope. So advantage.
Hey! Remind me, hope is advantage?
Yeah. So 2 rolls higher the roll.
Cool. Nice. Elemental 11.
11. There's something very elemental about this. Everything about it, from the gold that embosses the statue all the way down to the very ground itself, it seems to be like exuding manic energy, like beyond levels of like that you've experienced. And actually, something to you, Luxalia, that this is kind of akin to is the ancient silverwood trees that exist within the silverwood. They actually kind of emit a similar energy, but this one is tenfold what you would feel to a silverwood tree specifically. And so you do recognize this not necessarily as magic, but you do recognize this as manic energy. There seems to be something sacred about this site.
Wow. Well, I will do obeisance to Alomnia here, sensing the sacredness. I'll take off my shoes as well, and hopefully there's a bush nearby that can start burning. And, just say a quick
There are
prayer.
no bushes here. There's plenty of magma down in the
Oh, okay.
the city's
say a
burning.
quick- right. I'll say a quick prayer of thanksgiving to Alomnia for this shrine and for guidance in finding what's wrong with this flame pillar. Because when in doubt, pray it out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
And then I just I listen to see if Alomnia tells me anything in my prayers.
Go ahead and make a piety skill check for me.
Woo! Let's go. Piety. Can you guys hear when I use this dice tower?
We can, yes.
It's nice.
It's very.
Yeah, we can.
It's like a
So
rain,
good.
like a rain stick.
Yeah. I hate this. I'm rolling so bad.
It's okay. You're getting him out of the way.
I know. 9.
9. That's not that bad. It's pretty good.
I rolled a 4.
Oh, okay.
My piety is a +5.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, you do feel that your prayers, you have this feeling deep down that your prayers are being heard. Actually, you feel that there is quite a deep connection. You almost lose yourself in this prayer. And as you do so, you don't necessarily get visions, but you get this overwhelming feeling that it's kind of this overwhelming feeling of anxiety is not the right word, but just kind of like anticipation for something. It's definitely supernatural, and then immediately I'm going to have you make a wisdom skill check for me to determine what happens next.
Hey! Finally! Okay, wisdom! Las Vegas. 19, natural 16.
You are able, quickly picture in your mind what looks to be, and it's a brief glimpse, angelic-ish looking figure, and you see that it's almost like an outline of a figure, kind of like you would see like in the stars. It's like kind of like a star constellation where you like kind of like connect the dots. You see like a brief glimpse of that, and inside kind of the abyss of the night sky, you see what look to be kind of like blazing white like eyes that are like staring deep into you. And then you begin actually to hear what sounds to be cries coming from a northern position of you. You are actually high up on a mountain, and you look down and you see kind of down below you where you are this gate, and you see what looks to be cries and calls coming from that gate, and you see that it is actually your party of Eclaas Eeas holding off against what look to be a number of humanoid looking creatures. And that's where we're going to go ahead and cut away for you.
Oh my gosh.
And so what brings us back into real time, and the group Eclaas Eeas, so Thordane, Zill, Yuki, and Shirley. For those of you who don't know, Belbin's named Shirley today. No, Belbin.
Modest Shirley.
Are down in down just after defeating all kinds of what look to be corsairs, pirates from the ocean, where their ships are docked at the northern part of the island, basically down a steep shale cliff. But there are all kinds of dead corsairs. Some of them have fallen into the magma, and some of them are, still in the process of dying. One of which is the large man who basically at the beginning of the combat you had heard named the Bloody Bosun. And that's where we're going to leave off. So you guys have just finished off killing fire creatures, magma creatures, and also a bunch of pirates.
Yeah. Well, Yuki wipes the sweat from her brow because it is also really hot here as well.
It's super duper hot.
Yeah.
Especially after that combat, you're like, you go all are roll sweating. Belbin's like thanking the Lord Alomni up above that he got a haircut.
Yes. Still looking good though.
Still looking
It is.
good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is beautiful. Yuki couldn't keep her eyes off of it. Just the glimpses of that gray hair flashing to and fro.
Yikes. Calm down, Yuki. I'm getting excited now.
Well, no. So, was it Belbin or Zill who opened the gate initially?
Belbin did.
Belbin,
Yeah.
are you still over there by the gate? Or no?
You are. So everybody's current positions is Belbin was over by the gate. Yuki, you were back a little bit with Zill.
By the stairs,
and
right?
Thordane is up on top of the watchtower.
All right. Thordane calls down. He looks out, and he's just like, "I don't see any more enemies ahead. I think we are in the clear." Yeah.
I love
And-
Thordane, how Thordane's
yeah.
become. He's a man of science.
He's confident.
Man of science.
He got that crown, and his
That's true.
third eye has been opened, and now he's just he knows now. He's seen some fantastical things, and it's given him the confidence. I mean, he talks to his sword. He's a crazy person, but
Sometimes men of science are
He's
crazy
eclectic.
people.
like Professor Palm. Yeah, it's good.
Professor, yeah.
Professor Palm.
Oh gosh. Well, Yuki, I guess, makes her way out towards the Corsairs and the men, and observes carefully. And does she see that the big Chungus is still breathing, still chilling
He's
there?
still breathing, and as he is, he's kind of like coughing, and it's like interspersed with like kind of like these big husky laughs, like kind of like.
All right.
And you could tell like he's like really nursing like his wounds, like he is very, very much on the brink of death here. And he's actually at the feet of Belbin. So
Oh.
before Yuki's able to approach Belbin, do you want to do anything?
Yeah, you know what? I want to go out, walk into the middle of the kind of the bridge. There are lots of bodies on there, right?
Yeah, quite a few. And from what you remember, and again, it's very, very clear, there's actually parts of this bridge that have begun to crumble. The bosun threw what looked to be some kind of explosive device at the gate itself. And chunks and like actually like this like these big black blast burns are there, and so you see not only like bodies of people who have been slain from like arrows and that kind of stuff, but like bits and pieces have been blown off of some of these other corsairs.
Okay, so where is that part of the bridge that's kind of looking like it's breaking down?
It's not completely broken, but you can tell like it's like been damaged kind of. It's still very solid, and it's right in front of the gate. So remember,
Okay.
it hit the explosion hit the portcullis, and so
Sure.
it hit the like and basically made this like kind of like huge dent in the portcullis. Didn't break it, but the walkway kind of around the front is like chunks of rock have kind of fallen off. So.
Okay, well, I'll
Sturdy
kind of go
stuff.
into yeah, those gates were amazing. Let's have Belvin go kind of out on the bridge a little bit,
Okay.
and as he walks past the bosun, he'll just like kick his head, sort of a thing.
Do you want to
Just-
inflict damage or like anything like that, or just kind of in passing?
No, just in passing, just make him hurt a little bit.
You do so, and, and he kind of like rolls over a little bit, and like this is a big dude. Like he's burly. Think of kind of like the mixture between like a sumo and also like like a lumberjack. Kind of like very like big and broad, but also like a big chungus belly on him. And so he just kind of like rolls over. He's just like. As you just like walk by him and just kind of paying him no attention.
And Belvin will go into like the part of the bridge and just say to Zill, "Hey Zill, want to see something cool?" And then he'll start lifting dead bodies and throwing them off over the like lava lake or river that's below us, just to like watch them burn or whatever happens to them when you throw them in there.
Yes. Zill, he just kind of like watches you in kind of like shock / curiosity, and he's just like, "Why aren't you like taking their stuff?"
It's a good point.
Yeah, Yuki
I'll loot the
calls,
next one.
Yeah,
I'll
Yuki
loot
calls
the next
out,
one
there
before
might be
throwing
something
it in."
important on them. Come on now, think before you act, Belbin. And then yeah.
I
Just
like
shaking
how
her head.
everyone's just like, I mean, it makes sense with Belbin. Everyone's so nonchalant, just like cutting down a bunch of an army of pirates. There's like, another day in the life. Which I guess is kind of par for the course
For
all
us, yeah, it's all good.
Can't leave all these dead bodies here, though.
It's true. Start smelling real bad.
So, Belbin, as you begin to kind of look through, you notice that you can tell like a lot of these corsairs, they didn't carry a whole lot as far as like valuables go, but you do look amongst all the bodies. They have just like kind of like some basic clothing, not super heavy armor, but you find a handful of like daggers, like just iron daggers, couple like swords and whatnot. But you do find a total of 36 ever coin. So that you
Okay.
can go ahead and pocket,
Nice.
take from
That's
them.
pretty good.
And as you do that, I am actually going to have you make a fate check for me. This is going to be a mind survival check.
All right.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Ooh, natural 16.
Oh,
Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what the total is. You said it was mind.
Yeah, mind.
20. 20.
So Belbin, as you begin kind of going through these bodies, chucking them over, you don't even feel any regret for just like taking their stuff. You're just like, yeah, they did this to us. They kind of deserve it. And as you begin kind of searching them, you notice that all kinds of marks, all kinds of like tattoos amongst these individuals, and a lot of them have actually been branded on their wrists. And upon further investigation, you notice that a very kind of just like, everybody knows this, especially kind of from your line of work of what you've done. Branded onto their wrists are the letter P in Everspeech, meaning each and every one of these are pirates, and they're very, very terrible individuals, and they've probably most likely done terrible things. And so based on like everything that you've experienced before, this is just, your run of the mill. You're just like, yeah, I just got rid of the trash. Now it's time to take them out. And so you take their stuff and you throw stuff over. You don't gain any points of misery.
Booyah. They deserve it.
Good stuff.
Giving them a pirate's death.
Usually it's at sea, but in this case it's in mountain. A sea of fire. Where they're going. Yuki, what are you up to?
All right. Well, Yuki just sees Belbin kick him in the head and just shakes her head, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, we got to get some information out of this guy. And she approaches the big Chungus, and she's just like, so, big boy, see, it didn't turn out quite like you planned. Do you wish now that you had given us your name and information of why you were coming here?
And he just kind of coughs out blood and spits at your feet without saying much anything else.
All
Kick him, Yuki. Kick him.
She's just like, still seems like cat's got your tongue a little bit. You're the big boss man here, but it seems like you're not going to be able to talk. You know what? You look like a Tim to me. Tim the boss man, I think. Just walking to and from, cracking that whip back and forth. I understand. When you got that kind of power, well, here, on your deathbed, you don't have that much power. So, you might as well talk while you're at it. Why are you here? What is your purpose here on Aishen Island, may I ask?
Make an influence skill check for me.
Alright. That's pretty good. Influence. I'm pretty influential. That would be a 16 non-natural.
All right. He kind of stops cackling a little bit at you, and he's like, and he just like is like, you can tell it's everything that he can to like keep like the gurgly,
Yeah.
You, this is not gonna be the end.
And you can tell like he's just like very, like you're not necessarily like intimidating him. There's something beyond, kind of like he's not afraid of death. You can just kind of tell it in his eyes.
Why am I here? More will come. I swear it. More will come.
More will come, you say, and Yuki ponders a bit. What specifically will bring these others to Aishen Island itself? It doesn't seem like anything special's going on here. And she looks up at the erupting volcano and just kind of shrugs it off like, yeah, it's a volcano,
You don't know what's beneath your very nose. There's a weapon here. A weapon of great power. A weapon of unbridled influence.
Weapon, you say? What kind of weapon would you say?
That I do not know. But my captain sent us here to claim it. Flamburge is on his list.
Oh, Captain, so you're not the big boss man after all. So tell me a little bit more about him, and if you are helpful enough, I'll be kind enough to let you die in peace.
Cocky one you are.
And he begins kind of like, you could tell like with each like speech he's getting weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
He is fading quick.
My captain is no normal man. He's got more ambition than you have in your entire party.
And he begins like hacking out bloody loogies. It's not good.
All right.
My captain's a man of divine providence, you see. And we all believe him to be in the right.
Divine Providence, you say? So he's of Alomnia. I don't think Alomnia would do such a thing. I mean, I could be wrong, but what is your captain's name? Just so I know how to address him when we do
That's
finally meet
Captain
him.
Crunch.
And with that, he lets out his last gurgles.
No, what the heck? And Yuki, out of frustration after seeing that, is just like, ugh. And she just donkey kicks him out of frustration and just sits down by him and just kind of rests up against. And while she just looks over, seeing if she can glean any other information off of his body, as she's just kind of like laying back against him, catching her breath a little bit. She's still not feeling great.
Are you
pretty bloodied.
actively going to search him, or are you just going to look?
Well, I mean, she's looking. I mean, if she's, I'm assuming, like by his side, so maybe there's a pocket nearby that she can, like, do a little peek in, and just kind of, she's tired. She's like resting, but at the same time, while she's sitting there resting, she's whatever in her close vicinity. She's just seeing if she can find any other clues or information about this captain or whatever that he spoke of.
So a couple things that you do notice right away is not only is he carrying what looks to be a grappling hook with about 60 feet of rope if you wish to take it. He seems to be, completely stained in soot from whatever weapon that he used previously. But upon his hand, you notice what looks to be a signet ring. He has like all kinds of jewelry upon him. So like he has like, kind of like some like tattered, not tattered, tarnished, like a necklace here. He has like a couple of like silver and gold rings, but there's one that looks very regal itself to kind of begin with. And I'm assuming if that looks of interest, you can take
Yeah,
take
she's
a
gonna
look at
do it. She's also gonna like grab the jewelry, and she's gonna be like, waste not, want not. At the very least, it could help pay for some of these repairs. And she looks at like the entire gate that's just basically in shambles at this point, and just maybe oh my gosh, what's his name? King Nalgoric
King
would
Lear.
appreciate. King Lear would appreciate these. At the very least, maybe he'll be able to tell us something a little bit about it. And she takes the ring off and like inspects it, and obviously the other jewelry as well. And she's gonna walk around as well after she inspects the jewelry and or the ring, and see if she can find any other potential things to help repay damages that these darn buccaneers did to the gate.
So go ahead and add to your inventory a bronze necklace,
Ooh.
2 silver rings, a gold ring,
Okay.
and a signet ring. You can call it like the bosuns. So BOSUN. Signet ring.
Okay.
Belbin, hearing Yuki's signature donkey kick, will like, mid body lift, like pushing it over the edge. Well,
And Belbin, you've done a good job of this, by the way. You've pretty much all but cleared the entire bridge of all the bodies. Most of them
I
are
do
now
good work. Yeah.
completely disintegrated.
I'll look over and see Yuki donkey kicking and ask Yuki, "Do you want help clearing the body?"
I think we're gonna need a little bit more than just you and I with this big boy. He looks like he's like 1,000 pounds or something. She tries. She's just so
He's a
bloodied
metric
and just
ton.
tired. Yeah, she's just so bloodied and tired at this point that she's just like, hey, Velvet, I'll try, I guess. Zil, do you wanna get in on this action? Thordane's like, I will. It's been interesting seeing these bodies melt for science, of course.
Oh, hey
comes down.
guys! You look a little worse for wear for just one little pirate.
Yuki looks up, hearing a voice out of the abyss, a familiar voice that she feels like she hasn't heard in forever, and she's just like, "Oh no, could this be it? Is this the heat getting to me?" And she just leans back on the corpse and is just like, "Oh man, I'm seeing the light. I'm seeing the light."
I will. I'll cast some healing. Let's do it.
Allow me if you're taking me now. Thank you.
You're welcome, I guess. I'll cast Mana Mending on Yuki, on Belbin.
Thornton's like, I could take some of that too. He comes, he's walking down the stairs.
I've only got so many. You drink potion.
Everyone just needs to get in a general area, and then you could use mana mending to affect everybody with mass healing, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
All right,
Everyone just needs to be within 10 feet of whoever's being healed.
Everyone gather around the bosun.
And Thordane's
Gather
gonna be like, hey, just by being here too, maybe I could give you guys some extra stamina as well. Does that work outside of battle?
It does, but so one thing to note is after just like a normal night of sleep, your stamina is completely replenished. Stamina is easier to recover than HP or mana. So just FYI, most of the time like stamina recovery things should be used in either dungeons or during like a long combat when it's like desperately needed. So
Gotcha. Okay, never mind then. Okay.
All right.
And then Yuki looks up, Thordan, you could hear that too. And she just looks up and she sees the Luxalia. She's like, oh, Luxalia, we could have used you so much here. And she's just like, she's out of it. She's hot. She's tired. She's frustrated.
She's hot and bothered over.
Yeah, she is. She donkey kicked a dude.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll cast 2 mana mendings on basically everyone. And I'm trying to see. I add a D4, right?
Not
is that
anymore.
different?
Not anymore.
Okay.
I do believe, based off of, I think that only helps during combat. So basically, I think right now it's a D8 or a D.
It's a D8. Yeah.
D8 plus your piety.
D8.
So you roll 2 of those, and then everybody heals.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Nice. 15 points.
Yo, I'll take it. Hey, at least you're saving your good rolls for the actual things that matter. So it's good.
I mean, I rolled a 5 on both. Plus, oh wait, I guess that would be 20 because it's twice.
Hey,
20.
I'll take
20
it.
points of healing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty. Sorry,
Sorry, I only added the modifier once, but I cast it twice. My bad.
I like it.
Question. Wait. So healer, was that what used to add a D4, but now it's just that one person restores a D6 at the beginning of each turn?
Yeah, in combat.
That
So
changed?
basically,
Okay.
that's changed. So basically, you get kind
Okay.
of like a passive heal, and I think that one's
Yeah.
as long as they have a half or lower HP. So
Okay.
there's a caveat.
That's
to
kinda
that.
cool.
So
I like
it's
that.
kind of like you have the passive heal to stamina, and you also have a passive heal to HP.
Cool.
Which you chose the healer kind of feature for that. So
Yeah.
it only works during combat though. So
Okay.
cool.
Cool. All right.
Sweet.
Yuki feels much better, and she shows the ring, or she pipes up and she's like, "Look, Solly, did you find out any information about the flame pillar? Obviously, we had our hands full over here."
I found this really cool professor guy named, well, he nicknamed him Professor Palm. He couldn't remember his name because he's really old. But he had these 3 cool crystals that I think are like the same. What?
That just happens in the wind. You hear that on the wind.
Dementia.
Yeah, might be that.
Maybe some divine intervention.
Yeah, so I found that guy, and he kind of told me that like those crystals were made of the same thing as the flame pillar. And then I went to the shrine because he's like, maybe check out the shrine. And then I found this really cool. Have we been there yet as a group? I don't really remember. But
no,
yeah, there's this really cool statue with 4 little keyholes. And I think from what we gathered, there's like a big underground shrine or something powerful. And we need the 4 keys of the different pillars to open it. Do we have 2 of those or 1 of those? I don't remember.
We have 1 of them. And Thordain's like, why, of course. This all makes sense. And he scratches his chin, very excited, as he's still looking at the burning corpses in the lava.
What's that? What makes sense?
It makes sense. If there's 4 keys, there's 4 islands here that we need to go and talk with the people. Maybe that's the key to what's going on here. And Thordain ponders even more.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, so it could just be
he's
like...
a man of science and of puns.
Yeah. It could just be like, I don't know, maybe this pillar is acting up because the other ones are acting up. I couldn't really find, like, anyone specifically who was, like, sus, So, yeah.
Can we get rid of this big body?
Before we do, yes, I think that's okay. I'm feeling better now. Can I look really quick over him and see if he has any like markings or tattoos or anything that like says anything about like the ship he's from or what crew he's under or even anything about his master? Anything. Just really quick before we huck him in.
Yeah, as you kind of investigate the body a little bit, you notice that there is the branded P that is on like the inside of his wrist as well. And some of the tattoos that are on him, one of them is like pretty big, and it's actually kind of across like the like top side of his back, and it is a skull, and from the skull there is blood coming out of the eyes and blood coming out of the mouth. And I'm going to go ahead, and as you look upon that, I'm going to have him make a wisdom skill check for me.
Am I trying to decipher whether or not he listens to death metal? That's what it sounds like. Seems like. Wisdom, you said?
Yeah, wisdom.
11.
Yeah. You look, and you're just like, bloody skull. Bloody.
It's pretty metal. It's pretty metal.
Bloody. It's the bloody bosun.
The bloody bosun. Why, it all makes sense. Is there a T on him or anything? I think his name's Tim or Timothy. He didn't actually tell me, but
there's no T's.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. All right, Belbin. Well, I guess I can help you. And Yuki lifts a leg.
Before we do that, should we take like a prize from him so that we can bring him back to the king?
If you want. I have these rings, but if you want, Belbin, I'm not going to stop you at this point. You deserve it. You worked hard.
I think these fallen pirates all deserve a blessing, and so I'll say, Alomnia, in thy mercy, welcome them into your kingdom and purge them of their sins. Amen. But I just think it's the one, so.
Amen. And then Belvin will get out a dagger and cut
off his tattoo.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll cut off his tattoo.
You
You
should
just
ask to
begin
keep
carving
that.
off
So,
like his upper back, and then he just,
Belvin,
like,
you should ask
a
to keep
flap of
that. Maybe
skin.
we could hang it on our keep wall when we get back. Jokingly, she's saying this. Jokingly.
Yeah, this is
It's a
We
good
already
idea,
have
Yuki.
Pretty
mer
gruesome.
person spines and wild dire bear heads. Well, what's a bloody tattoo gonna do? You know?
Yes.
That's true. Well, I'm still
Maybe we
going to
could
do it.
find
We can give this to the king. Maybe he wants to hang it on his wall.
Yes.
Pelton, that's very kind of you, generous.
How did one
Nothing.
pirate do like that much damage to this gate?
Oh, he didn't. Belbin was throwing the rest of the bodies into lava, as you could see.
There were
Three.
more?
Oh, yep, there were lots.
Oh,
How
So
many?
you missed a lot, girl.
Oh.
You
And actually, there are a number of bodies that are still on the opposite bank. I mean, Luxali probably hasn't seen them because there's a giant gatehouse. But there are still a number of bodies from like a lot of the crossbowmen that were on the
Yeah,
other side.
there had to have been at least 40. It felt like that at least. There were a lot of them.
we had lightning striking. We
We
had
did. Oh,
I'll
speaking
say a
of
quick
which,
prayer for the rest of them.
Speaking of which, actually thinking about the lightning strike. By the way, that's one thing that you missed, Cole. I actually used my amulet or my necklace of lightning, and it was broken as get out.
Nice.
It destroyed people. It's probably
Wait,
going to be
where'd you get
changed.
that
'Cause
again?
It was just broken as heck. I've had it for a while, just never been able to use it because we've been inside, and it only works when you're outside. But basically, it summons lightning down on all of the peeps, and every turn it was just frying people every single turn. However, unfortunately, I feel like my elemental qualities aren't that great, so I wasn't getting the most out of it. So maybe you have something that maybe you could trade this for. I mean, it's really cool and it's really powerful, but I feel like I'm not getting the most out of it. I'm more physically inclined, if you understand, in my elemental inclinations. I just feel like it's a waste on me. You know, I feel.
Oh,
like
are you
maybe-
giving me the necklace?
I mean, if maybe we can make a trade. I'll be kind about
okay,
that.
sure.
Just think about it.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to trade now.
I'll-
But
Yeah, I'll think about it. That
all
sounds
right,
pretty cool.
It's just
I
pretty
wonder
cool.
if I give it to the professor's one of his rocks, they might like change in some way and become more powerful. I'll think about
necklace? I mean, it
Yeah,
was
like-
pretty powerful. Belbin, wasn't it pretty cool? I think.
yeah,
it was
we can't
just-
give that to Professor Palm. That would be a huge waste.
No, I'm just
This
saying,
thing was
like,
awesome.
If
Thorny
he found
idea.
a tiny little brown fox thing and then he gave it to him, he might like become electric and then he could just do it for free.
Thordian's like, oh, this is piquing my interest. I don't know if this is science or some sort of witchcraft or something, but I am interested.
I think it's science. That Professor Palm guy had all these theories that I put in his head. So
He sounds kind of crazy, this Professor Palm guy. I don't know about that.
yeah.
I don't know. Well, if you decide that you
Maybe I
want
should
it, we
get
can
it.
trade it. Maybe you can give it to him and see if anything happens.
No, we'd probably keep it.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Maybe when I summon my my little Glyvin guy, he could turn into like an electric Glyvin guy.
Oh, yeah.
Things to think
Kitsune,
about.
I love Kitsune Spirit. It's been a
Oh
while.
wait, I don't think I can do that anymore.
No, you can't. You
Never
can't.
mind.
It's so
Oh.
technically it's part of your
The forest
race.
spirit?
Yeah, it's the forest spirit. It's like a art that you can
Okay.
use, but it's
Cool.
it summons. I mean, he's there,
Okay, cool.
but he's not like following you around all the time. He
No,
he
yeah.
appears and he's like, "Let me help you," and then he goes away.
And then he goes away. Yeah, that's fair. All right. I should get a crystal that's red and white, and then every time I use that art, I just throw it.
Maybe. And Yuki actually, so you're talking about this Professor Palm. You say he knows a lot about stones and rocks and of the sorts. And Yuki looks into her gloof bag, and there's this big old stone that's literally 45 pounds. That she's
No,
gonna
you
carry.
don't. You
that!
don't have it.
I don't
You
have
left
it.
it back at Aishen Island, or you
I
left
left
it back
it back there, didn't I? No.
How could
All
you
right, we'll have
do
to go
that?
back and get it. But I have this stone, and I know what it looks like, and I can describe it. Maybe if I describe it to Professor Palm, then he could tell me what it is, because this is just a pain to carry. but I need to deliver it
Wait, where did you leave it in Takai Town?
in our room.
Are we still paying for that
the
room?
Onsen. Well, I feel like we kind of. I mean, DM, are we sorry? We
Yeah,
were
technically, you're still paid for it.
Oh,
Oh my gosh! We never checked out.
Well,
Guys!
you decided to leave stuff, and that was the only place you could leave stuff.
Oh,
So.
okay, sure.
I forgot about
That's going to
that.
be a pretty penny.
You
there,
didn't have like a
guys.
tank or something that we could
Maybe-
just like.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe they're just keeping it safe in a safe somewhere and not in our rooms. I
What
don't
if-
know.
What if we just never go back?
No,
never have
we
to pay
have
for
to
the
go
room?
back now. I have a
I
mission.
want that big rock.
Well, we can break it.
No, we can't break it. It's for someone. I got it from a deathly specter. Belbin, you were there. Don't you
I know.
remember?
No. I'm not saying we break it. We break into our hotel room.
Oh, I think we don't have to do that. I think we could just go and get it.
If you want to spend an arm and a leg to pay for like 3 weeks at the
Hey, we saved the entire
you
island.
guys, this is day 2, day 3.
Oh
This is-
wow.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what?
only
Why
like
did
2
this
days
do a
away,
couple
so
days?
it's okay.
We
Wait,
spent.
but were we paying for it during that whole dungeon?
That's what I thought.
I don't think so.
No, we
Oh,
left. Remember?
Because you guys
I
didn't
mean,
leave anything, and then when you went back for your holiday, you went. And actually, part of the I don't know if you remember, but part of the holiday, since you guys did so good at the defending the people, part of that was you actually got free room and board. So
Sweet.
yeah, you don't have to
before
pay.
Yeah, we're
before
good.
remembering that, Yuki's just gonna pipe up. Maybe Belbin, you and your little girlfriend at that shrine up there can get us a discount.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what
We'll
was her
see.
name? Like
I don't know, but she was awful cute.
Chachi.
Kalachi.
Chachi. You know?
I have it. I have the name. I'm sorry. This is,
Kalisha.
no, it's
yes,
Hinako.
Kalisha.
It's
No,
Hinako.
Hinako's
No.
the shrine maiden.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Belbin doesn't
No,
know
that's my
Hinako.
friend.
Yeah.
Oh, who was the one who was
Kalisha.
given Belbin all of the life advice? Kalisha? All right,
Kalisha, yeah.
All right, Kalisha.
Right. Are you sure it's not Chachi?
Or Kalachi.
How is my skinning of the bosun going? Are we finished?
Oh
with
yeah,
that?
you do it, and it's pretty. Actually, go ahead and make a dexterity skill check for me.
Dexterity. Guys, I'm wrong. Well, let's see. Dexterity is
Hey, I like it.
18.
Oh,
Yo,
beautiful.
let's go.
Beautiful, Belbin. Actually, you've gotten to the point where like you're like the perfect trace. It's almost kind of like you have like a small scalpel, and you're able to get everything. And so you don't actually have like skin on the outside. It's literally just skin, but like the just the tattoo. It's beautiful.
Wow.
gorgeous.
Okay, well, that turned out so well. I might want to keep that for myself. And I want to cut off his head to bring to the king.
Maybe I hear that that they have these things that like if you heat up really really hot, maybe it's just a type of rock, and you put it on like the back of a clothing piece, and you just you rub the rock over it a few times, a really hot rock. You can imprint it into your clothing. I hear that that's all the trend these days. Maybe you could do that and have a sweet jacket with the bloody
I've heard
bosun on the
that
back
works
of it.
better with like a hunk of iron.
Oh, iron!
Ah.
Even better. Even
Well, I
better.
know a
Zill's
guy
like,
who has a lot of
iron.
iron.
Calm down, Zill.
Zill's like, he comes with like an iron ingot. Like, is this what you're talking about? Is this what?
And then and Thordain's sitting up, still there, pondering. I wonder if that would work with a human of flesh, or if it's just paper. I don't know, but I would be intrigued to see for science. Is what he's saying. Is what he's thinking to
Zill?
himself.
How are you not like baked alive? You're wearing like full plate armor.
Yeah.
I
And
touched the plate armor.
you touch it. A second passes. It's okay. It's warm. 2 seconds pass.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, this is toasty. 3 seconds passed. Yeah, you have to remove your finger. It's a little toasty.
Ow.
Yeah, Yuki's
What
having
the
hot
hell? What's wrong
flashes
with you?
as this is going on. She's not feeling good. Goodness.
You
He
better
looks-
hydrate.
He looks down and he's like, It's a good idea. And he takes out his water pack. He goes ahead. He's gonna pour a charge of water on his armor. It goes and like steam everywhere. He's like, nice. That's so much better.
Like a lobster.
That's cooking. I don't know how much. Speaking of which, how much longer are you spending in this on this freaking city? I can't take it. Yuki is literally just like a woman going through those years of her life where she's just having those hot flashes. That's what she's feeling like, and she's just a little cranky, a little moody.
I'm gonna use 3 of my tails. How many tails do I have right now? Like 5? I forget.
Yeah, sure.
Do you gain and lose them?
I think it's 4.
Well, they come and go.
Yeah.
You know, depending on how awesome I am.
Like
I'm
a crab.
gonna fan
And their claws.
her with 2 of them and keep fanning myself with 2 of them.
I mean, I guess it's something like moving hot air. I guess is better than stagnant hot air.
Yeah. Nobody would know.
Speaking of which,
That's
so
hard.
actually, is it still a thing that I have? Like anyone who's in my vicinity, it's slightly cooler.
Yes.
Slightly, hey, that's pretty nice.
Hey.
So, slightly, I don't feel it. Yuki's dying. She doesn't get her own benefits at all. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's a good idea. I think maybe we should go back. Yuki pipes up to the. How many guards are remaining that are
2.
still there?
2, 4 now that actually 2, 3. 3 plus 2 that came with Luxalia.
Okay. Yuki calls up to them and says, "Do you think we should go back to King Nalgoric, or should we go see those ships out in the distance? You know, the ones that the pirates came on quickly. What do you think?" She's thinking out loud. She's talking to anyone who's listening.
Whichever one you want to do, we'll do the opposite.
I kind of want to like cool down a little bit. So Yuki runs towards the ocean. Like this.
Hold on, we have to deal with the body, so we haven't thrown him over the edge.
Oh
yet.
yeah. Okay, Bellman. All right, she's motivated now. She's
Did I get his head?
Yeah. You did very successfully get his head. I'm gonna have you make a fates check.
Oh my gosh.
This one is going to be a wisdom check too.
Ooh, wisdom. Let me find
Wisdom. No, mind, not wisdom. Sorry, mind.
Bellman
Mind?
is just getting
survival.
trolled by his character.
Even better, 18.
18. You do it. You do gain 1 point of misery though.
Oh,
as you
It was
take the head of this bosun and you just basically latch it to your belt.
Oh, is there still part of like the spine? Is it dripping blood? Oh,
I don't know. Belbin does a pretty good job. He's feeling confident with his blade skills. It's like he's a chef or something.
Are you a chef? Oh yeah, that's right. Back in the old days, Belbin was a freaking master cook. I forgot about that.
I'm good with my knife. What can I say?
Why don't you cook for us more often? Yuki pipes up. When we're out and doing like exploring.
We're on the road almost all the time. When we're not on the road, we have got places to eat.
I mean, that's true, but you don't do squat when we're in camp.
Maybe next time make me the hearth finder and maybe I'll do something.
No,
for ya.
because that's my role, Belbin. I excel at that really well. Don't you dare take it from me.
Fine, I can't help you then too much.
Yes, you can. You can always help. You can always be a help. You may not get any bonuses from anything, but you can always be a help.
Jeez, Yuki's very butthurt about this whole thing.
I told you, she's not butthurt. She's just feeling it. It's hot. She's not used to it. So she helps Belbin dispose of the body, and she runs towards the ocean.
What is everyone else doing?
I will go find the king, I guess.
All right.
Separating. All right, Yuki, you go towards the ships. Luxalia, you're going towards the king. Belbin.
I got to bring the head back to the king. Present him with his trophy.
All right, and then
Zell, go with Yuki so she doesn't die or something.
so it's like okay, and the Thordane is also going to go with Yuki too.
Oh. I think Thornton should come with us because he's a man of science.
Thornton ponders over the idea and he's just like, feeling cool from the ocean, seeing whether a tattoo can be put onto a back of a t-shirt. And he's having real mental dilemmas. It's been a long time since he's had to make such a difficult decision in his own life. So he's going to defer to the Fate Weaver.
All right. On an even number, we're going to get a... actually, I'm going to use the dice roller up here. On an even number, we're going to go ahead and he is going to go to the ships. On an odd number, he's going not to the ships. So
Tails never fails.
Bam. Bam. That's a 4. He's going to the ships.
Dang it!
He's just like, but you know what? I'm sorry, Luxalia. Don't do anything exciting while I'm cooling off this hot bod of mine. And he goes with Yuki.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, as everyone's kind of doing their thing, we're gonna go ahead and make our way to the ships. So Yuki and Thordane and Zill all carefully, while in a little bit of a hurry, make their way down these cliffs. There's a cracked staircase that goes up. And it kind of just like winds back and forth upwards, but it's a pretty steep decline. You can tell like there's upkeep on these stairs as, you know, lava flow that has come and gone have covered them. Fortunately, there's enough buildup now where the current lava flow is not going down them in any way, but they are pretty slick. So as you make your way down these stairs, I'm gonna have each of you make a dexterity or a agility survival check.
Oh, that's my worst stat. What are you doing?
Luxalia, can you roll?
Zill is going with them?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, baby.
Bring it.
Agility?
Freaking
Yeah, agility.
Thordane. Oh, my Lord. Thordane is freaking Tom Bombadil over here. Just,
Striding through the forest.
I'm sorry. What is this? Is this a
Agility.
Just a straight agility check. Oh my gosh. 24 for Thordane.
He really is striding.
He's freaking Tom Bombadil. He's excited.
Zill got a 19.
Yuki got a 12.
Without much difficulty at all, both Zill and Thordane. Zill's thinking like, oh, this is a really good idea. And as everyone, the three of you, make your way down this mountainside, yeah, you can start to feel like the sea mists. Like it feels almost cold as you're making your way down because of how hot it was up top.
It's all good.
Yuki, you're a little bit further behind. You're trying to be as careful as possible as you see these steep stairs, but you're just like feeling. And Thordane, picture him chasing them taking the hobbits to Isengard, and he's just running.
He calls out, Thordane, what do your elf eyes see? What do you see?
A red sun rises this morning. Blood has been spilt this day.
Oh yeah, I could have told you that. What do you see?
Oh yeah, there's ships down there. Yeah, he makes his way pretty dexterously through, and Yuki, you do too. Eventually, you all make your way down to the coast where there's 3 ships docked.
By the way, can we have one of the guards come with us?
Sure.
Okay, just one of them.
Yeah, he's coming.
He's assisting me.
He's assisting.
I make my way down gingerly.
You make your way down, and you see these 3 ships that are in front of you. 2 of them are rather large. One of them is actually decently small. It almost kind of looks like a sloop, kind of a small coastal ship. And you could tell that this one's probably a little bit faster and probably better at navigating shallow waters. There's one that's like pretty darn large. It actually has 3 masts, like central masts that's on it. And then another one which is slightly smaller and it has 2 masts, but the outer wood of it looks like either some kind of rosewood, but it is actually a reddish tint. And each of them are flying different flags, actually. The one with the reddish tint has basically a flag that has a very similar sign, which is the skull with the bleeding eyes. The second one, the bigger one with the 3 masts, it actually has what looks to be an anchor and 2 swords crossed through the anchor. And the last one, actually, it's a very simple flag. It is a white flag, and along it, basically, there are like 2 X's. And then at the top and on the bottom, there is a big star and then a small star at the bottom.
Does Yuki recognize, or Thordane, or any of them recognize any of these flags?
You immediately recognize the skull one.
Okay. Bloody bosun, I'm assuming. Okay. But how about the others?
Go ahead and make knowledge skill checks.
Yuki, grab us the Dos Equis one. The ship.
Stay seriously, my friend.
Which one is the Dos Equis?
The one with the 2 swords?
No, the one with 2 X's.
The one with the 2 X's?
No, it's one X, and then on the top there's a star, and on the bottom there's a star.
I'm sorry, which one was this? Focus?
No, knowledge skill check.
Knowledge. All right, so Thordane got a 16 non-natural. Thordane is freaking sick today. He is feeling it. And Yuki got a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Zil. I'll roll.
Sorry.
Knowledge
knowledge? Okay. Wow, Zill's rolling good today, so that's good. Knowledge, where? Okay. 16, unnatural.
Dang. Freaking Thordane and Belbin.
Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that Zil can. He basically spending his whole life in Helix. He does look though at the one with like the 2 stars on it. He's like, "Oh, that's really interesting." And he takes like a closer look and he says, "I think I actually recognize this one as on one of the crates that used to come into Helix." And he's just like, "Oh, what could I say? I don't know exactly what it stands for, but I know that these often traded with Helix before." That's what he can glean from that one. And then so that's the smaller one, and then the bigger one, actually Thordane, he's just like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this ship before. I've actually seen it off the coast of the Woodland Realm when I was a younger lad. This one is actually a supply ship that carries sea folks, typically for long voyages, but this one," and he looks closer and he uses his elf eyes to see, written on the basically the side of the ship in pretty small lettering, he sees "The Mariner" written on there, and it's pretty finely like engraved. You can tell it's been like a pretty like good craftsmanship that made that. Upon further investigation, Yuki, though, you look at this the bloody bosuns, and you see what looks to be a writing in kind of a similar location now that it's pointed out to you. In a similar location on each of these ships, the one that the bosun flag is called the Bloody Tempest. So that's his ship, and then the last one you find in smaller writing, it's called the Centoic.
Okay, Centoic. Okay. Cool. Yuki reads those, relays the information, sees if the guard knows anything about them. Hey, do you know any of these ships? Have you heard of any of them?
Unfortunately, us Draken aren't much of sailors, so it beats me. I have no idea.
Okay. Well, that being the case, Yuki calls up to the ships. Hello? Anyone up there? Your captain, the bloody bosun, is dead, and we have come to commandeer these ships from you. Hold tight while we come and take from you what is rightfully ours. And she climbs on the bloody bosun ship.
Make a charm skill check.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That was very polite.
See? Yeah.
Maybe we should have gone with you so you don't die. I don't know.
It'll be fine. I can talk my way out of it.
I just thought you were like going to cool down and then.
Oh no, we're getting these ships. We're getting these ships. That's 17.
17. You make your way up on board. How do you wish to do so?
Oh, I fly up there.
All right, go ahead and expend a charge of flying.
Yeah.
You do so, and you begin to kind of hover over the deck before landing. This deck is pretty immaculately cleaned, actually. It's very, kind of odd because it almost looks like it's like the wood itself is almost bleeding, and it's just the kind of wood, and so but you could tell it swabs to perfection. And within the ship, you don't actually see anybody right offhand walking about on the deck. And as you begin to call further and further, there is no response.
Okay. Well, she's going to spend the next whatever with Thordane and Zill investigating the ship, seeing if they find any clues or anything cool, as well as trying to get their whereabouts of the ships. And if they see anything cool, let me know.
All right, tell me who's investigating what ship.
I guess Yuki's on the Bloody Bosun, so she'll be looking around the Bloody Bosun. I guess we'll just go with everyone who knew the ship. So Thordane goes to the Sword...
The Mariner.
Or the Mariner, and then Zill goes to the Centauric.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and start with you, Yuki. You climb on board, and you look around, and you see that there is not a lot up on the main deck, but you see what looks to be some kind of cage in the middle of the... Not cage, like kind of grate in the middle of the ship, and you look down into what looks to be a dark hole with some candlelight going on there. You look, and actually kind of towards the back of the ship, what looks to be kind of like the captain's quarters, and this door to it looks like it is locked shut, and it has this giant steel looking kind of lock system contraption on the doors. Okay. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to really glean from just initially looking on the initial deck.
If I look down into the grate, though, can I see anything living or anything moving around, scuttling?
You
aside
don't
from
see
just
anything
like rats?
moving around, but you see like a bunch of crates actually down below.
Okay, interesting. Does it look like it can be moved, the ship, by any means? Or, I mean, she's not very she's not a good seafarer by any means, but...
You have spent time on a ship. The anchors are set. And there are actually a decent amount of, this ship requires a decent number of people in order to actually be able to run it. You wouldn't be able to just sail this yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Right,
cool.
There is like the typical like steering wheel that you have kind of at the back of it, but there's no way that Yuki or even the four of you that are there could sail one of these ships. They require a crew.
Yeah. Well, and so the only things Yuki's really looking out for are any signs of maybe orders from the top above the Bloody Bosun or anything with any names on it that we could be looking for, anything with any sort of confirmation of a master, as the Bloody Bosun said. So.
All right. As mentioned, there isn't much on the top deck. And so do you wish...
I'm assuming it's all in the little locked room, right?
You could attempt to try to go in there.
I mean, it's locked. So I get Zill. I call Zill on over. Hey, Zill, come here. I've learned my lesson from trying to unlock locked doors too many times. And
Zill, he kind of makes his way over to the base of this ship, and he kind of struggles to determine how to get up on board. You use
Climb
your
the
wings.
anchor. Climb the anchor.
I've got a lot of armor, so...
I guess that's true. Maybe this is better saved for later. Yukika calls over to the guard who's down there, and she said, by the way, did the other two find anything? They were looking for similar things on the other two ships.
Okay, so the smaller one actually has what looks to be a walkway that has it's like a wood plank walkway that has made its way down. Zill was able to climb up that pretty simply. From what he can tell with this ship is there's not a whole lot that was stored on top other than the fact that There are quite a few ropes, and there's actually a fancy spyglass in the crow's nest. This ship, from what he could glean, is primarily used for scouting, and it's pretty quick, and it's pretty silent as far as like what it's able to do. So, and this one is, at being the smallest, it can be crewed by a much smaller number of people.
Is this the one with the X and the 2 stars?
Correct.
No, this is okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Thordain, what does he find on the other one?
He sees what look to be cabins upon cabins of, and he's pretty dexterous, so he's able to climb up on board without too much of a problem, taking some time. Cabins upon cabin, empty cabins of, basically this giant people mover. He does see like a few kind of rusted weapons here and there, nothing too exciting. He does go kind of to the captain's quarters, and he finds that this one is locked as well.
Okay, Yuki gleams that information from everyone. She calls down to the Draken captain, or the Draken soldier, and she's like, okay, I think we're going to go back. Do you mind? I mean, these are in the care of Eclaas Eeas and Flamburge. I think these ships would be best, maybe best having more hands on here to be able to discover the secrets that hide inside. And then if we find anything, or if we don't find anything, I actually think these would be really good to be sent back to Takai Town. And I don't know if there's any way we could get them over there, but I know maybe my crew and I would take the smaller one, and she's referring to the fast one, the small fast one, that we might be able to use for whatever. But the other 2 ships I think would be good for the city of Takai Town. And if they don't necessarily want to use that, then we can give him over to Gunter. I know he's parked there. Gunter, the seafaring king. Maybe he has anything he could do with these. I don't know. She calls down to the king, or to the guard who's there.
As you say, should we send word to Takai Town to see if we can get these figured out? Again, as mentioned before, we are not so much of seafaring folk. We can keep an eye out and look after these for the time being, but unfortunately we will not be able to sail them.
Yes, I understand. I think that's what's best. So as soon as you can, maybe get the word out to Takai Town. Maybe we could get some of Gunter's crew over here. I don't know how fast he could get over here, but I think he'd be the best person to look these over if we can get him.
We will see what we can do. Fortunately, we have plenty of guides that still are there in Takai Town, and we should be able to get them here in about 2 days' time.
Cool. All right. 2 days, and then Yuki's just like, oh, I can't stay here for any longer than that. I'm dying already as it is. She's just thinking this to herself, and then she climbs down off of the ship as best she can, and yeah, she turns to the other 2. Should we catch up with Luxalia and Zill, or Luxalia and Belbin?
They think that's a good idea.
All right, let's do it.
All right, jumping forward to Luxalia and Belbin. So you guys are making your way back into the city. From the northern gate, you notice that most of the citizenry of Flamburge have taken it upon themselves to start cleaning up some of the rubble. You can tell some of them are thrusting some of these larger rocks into the lava flow, and some of them are actually taking them and saving them for maybe some future construction. And you actually see some children that are about Draken children, which is a very rare sight, to be quite honest, going through and trying to look for any kind of precious rock that might be inside, or any kind of cool looking rock to try to take for themselves. But they, they're all not really paying you much mind, as word has spread throughout the city that a bunch of foreigners are there. And so you stick out. You are with some of the guards. You're actually accompanied by the 2 guards that came with Luxalia, leaving 2 guards at the gate, and 1 guard down at the boats with the rest of the crew. You guys continue downwards into the main part of the city, and you see something that's a little bit different than before. Not only do you see the flames burning out the center kind of keep area, if you remember where now Gortagheim is, it's kind of like a small little castle around like this mountain, and there's kind of like this like fire circle of like the ever burning furnaces that are in Flamburge. It's not just fire now, but you can see kind of like this dark, almost like blackened smoke coming out of the top, and what sounds like the sound of giant bellows got like do at work. And you can faintly hear like the sound of kind of like some hammers clinking. It seems like everyone's kind of just like back to their own work, and not too much has changed. So you make your way down. Do you plan on going directly to the keep?
I'm fine
I
with
will
that.
keep. Yeah, I'll keep like a feeling out for any suspicious mana activity.
Make an elemental skill
other than
check
that-
as you make your way down.
Making my way downtown. We're getting better. 12.
12. Something keeps drawing your gaze back up to the statue as you begin to pass under its shadow. The overwhelming sense of mana seems to be coming from there. However, you do start picking up as you make your way more into the center part of the city. There seems to be some kind of energy coming from the volcano as well, kind of in that general area. And so you are picking up a little bit on something other than just either the Draken, the statue altar area, and then there's also the volcano too. So you're not necessarily feeling anything from the keep or the mountain direction where you're going. But
Are we not in the volcano?
no, so the volcano's at the northeast corner of the city. Here, let me actually pull up a kind of like a map for you guys. This is okay. We'll do this for now. So up here in the kind of northern part of the city, this is the city center.
Flame pillar?
Yeah, well, no, this one's the one where the keep is, and so where the kind of the furnaces are burning. You guys are making your way down in this direction. And as you, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Is it broadcast? Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I can see it.
You're making your way down, and as you begin to cross over kind of this lava bridge, this up here in the top right corner is going to be the flame pillar, and also the entrance to Aishen volcano. It's going to be up at the top.
Gotcha.
So
they were defending. I thought they were defending in the north.
They were. So you guys came from this northern part. So right here is the altar, and then right over here, the side path is to the north. So.
Okay.
Cool.
I understand.
I'm sorry, Kyle. Did I screw anything up by moving that?
What did you move?
I moved my picture out of there.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Sorry about that.
Okay, I'll just mention to Belbin. The volcano area over there has a little suspicious energy coming from it. Maybe we should investigate later.
Bevelin will take a mental note, not knowing exactly why he cares about that. But
Okay.
You make your way through the main gates, and business itself seems to continue as usual. And you make your way into the central volcano, led up the same corridor that you came through, where all kinds of gold statues and beautiful glittering walls of like this mountain. Basically lead you down into the heart of this kind of subterranean mountain. Until you make it to the throne room where Nalgoric, he seems to be talking to a number of people. They look like some kind of citizenry that are asking him maybe for advice or maybe for help in certain aspects. As you begin to walk in, the guard, he boom tamps his spear down and clears his throat, and Nalgoric, he stands up. Well, welcome back. Seems at least two of you have made your way. I've heard news that there has been some attacks at our borders. Do tell, what news do you bring from that area of our beloved town?
yes, good king. Only two of us made it back, as you can see.
The others are alive, I assure you.
Why didn't I, like honestly? I thought that's exactly what I thought you were gonna say, Connor. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, I guess the others are on their way. They're alive.
Well,
But
that's
good king, we
good to
have
hear.
we brought you some good tidings.
Do you?
Yes.
Good tidings are very rare to come across these days, especially at the state of, obviously, our city. What good tidings do you bring?
I'll untie the head. I assume his hair was tied into my belt or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that. I'll untie and hold up his head and say, "King, for your wall, the head of your enemies."
Have you had that the whole time?
He stands up and he examines it closer, and he's just like, I don't
His name was
recognize this
Tim.
enemy.
You don't know Tim, the great bosun of the pirate people?
Tim? I've heard of a wandering wizard, perhaps by that name, but a pirate
This
bosun.
is his also famous brother, apparently. Tim.
The Tim brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tim and Tim is they had a very stupid mother. Could only remember
Oh
one
my.
name, so
Sounds
apparently
like
you
he
don't know
was
that
named
legend,
by
but he-
fate.
I guarantee he is well known and was well respected. So
Well,
a
it is
trinket
good to
for your
see that
castle.
you've taken care of this problem. I do hope that everything is all good on the northern front.
yes, we cleaned up everything. There's no bodies left.
Bodies.
Wait, are you gonna show him the tattoo?
No, that's for me.
Oh, I thought we were bringing that to the king.
Yeah, but then it turned out so well that I cut off his head, so he could have
Oh.
the head and I could keep the tattoo.
He
Well, I mean, you
looks
can
at the
always
two of
show
you
him and
having
then
this
keep it.
conversation, and it's just like, you can keep your tattoo, and you can keep this head of yours if you so desire.
Oh.
What brought
The king has
these-
rejected my gift.
rejection? No. Appreciation, yes, but there is no wall where I keep these trinkets here in this hall. To be honest, they're quite unclean and quite dirty, but you seem quite proud of these, and you should be, as you have protected this city, and for that we are very grateful for you. And as part of a reward, keep that, and maybe we can continue to talk maybe some other things. But where is the rest of your party?
They're down by the ships in the water because they were getting howled.
Now, this is something you haven't mentioned. Ships. Bodies.
Yep.
Pirates, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did we not say that? Yes, pirates. I thought you knew. Sorry.
Tim was the
No.
great pirate.
Tim is a great pirate,
The Dread
Was.
Pirate Tim.
and now he
Was.
is a keychain.
Apparently.
Yes, indeed.
If only we had a key.
I do believe you do have one.
Yeah, I think Zil has it.
Oh,
A very important key.
yes. If only we had more keys.
Like a key ring, perhaps.
Yeah, with 4 keys? For the door, you see?
One for each door. Anyway, we get sidetracked, good king.
Unveil some floors with key. No more about me.
Perhaps the heat is getting to you. Perhaps it's getting to all of us. These days are growing longer and hotter. And with danger coming on our northern shore, something I haven't seen in decades. Sorry, numbers.
The shore of the
I haven't
sea?
seen in the northern shore of our city. There's quite a few things that seem rather off. Hence, probably we need to draw more attention to what is going on, not just within our city, but beyond our borders. Do tell me, there are ships there, and you said that you have taken care of the pirates that are up. Have you found anything that may glean some information that would be able to help us determine, why
They are here.
Well,
Yuki does.
we didn't go to the ships. That's where the
We
other
came right to
party
you to
is.
give you this
Yeah,
head.
we wanted to give you this special gift that you rejected.
And also the tattoo to show you what pirates they were.
If you prefer the tattoo, I could part with the tattoo. You could put it on your table as a mat or something like that.
You may keep both of these. He kind of hesitates. Treasures.
But one of them, let me describe the tattoo. Show him the tattoo. See now it's the skull and it's bleeding, and that's what we came to show you. Was that was the pirate gang that they killed? I wasn't there.
Rumor has it you can put it on a shirt if you want.
That's a rumor that you made up, I think. Yeah.
I didn't make it up. That was Thordane. He said,
Oh yeah, what's
Right.
the
I'm going to have each of you make charm skill checks for me.
Oh, dear lord.
I'm really bad at these.
Sam,
Oh yeah,
11.
that's bad. Okay, charm.
Oh,
Let's see.
don't you ruin a reputation with the king? Come on now. You.
5.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be an influence? Would that be an influence?
No, so the reason that this is being rolled is less about like the gifts or anything, but more about like your bantering. And so what he's like kind of trying to determine like what your personalities are as like a company and whether or not he can take you seriously in his kind of company.
Yes.
oh.
He looks at you first, Belbin, and he kind of like shakes off like what you're saying and just like kind of like not quite sure first of all if you are actually like attempting to offer these things to him, but he apparently it's very evident that these are very important, and he is going to show you a sign of gratitude for showing him these, but he is not going to accept these. Luxalia, he takes a look at you as he's a little bit confused by some of the things that you're saying and how, you know, the stories themselves don't necessarily not add up, but he mentions, he's like, kind of like, what information can you give me if you weren't actually there? Kind of like sitting there
Well,
waiting.
yeah. I saw the aftermath, and they caught me up to speed. So that's why I know these things. Also, you should go visit Professor Palm. He's pretty cool.
Palm. He looks at his hand. Palm.
No, like the tree. Like a palm tree.
He kind of whispers to one of the like guards that are standing next to him. Find out who this Professor Palm is.
He's the old guy at the volcano laboratory. That's my nickname I gave for him because he couldn't remember his name.
Ah, the volcanologist.
Yeah.
Good fellow. Even well advanced in his years, he provides some good insight from time to time. Yes, Professor Palm. Did you speak with him? Clearly.
I did. Yeah, he has these 3 crystals that are very similar to the fire pillar because I was trying to figure out why the fire pillar was all wrong. I think it might have something to do with something in the volcano because I just you know, there's a lot of like mana energy coming from there. And yeah.
Indeed. Well, we'll go ahead and look into that. These crystals, I am aware of them, but to be honest, I thought they were some more of heirlooms of our people.
Yes.
The fact that they possess such powers does not surprise me, as it does come from such a important and powerful residence. Residence of a very powerful individual as well. Perhaps maybe we can put them to good use. Maybe stabilize the pillar, as it were.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about.
He leans over and he tells pretty much like, go speak with the volcanologist. We'll make sure we get those, double the guard around the earth, the flame pillar. And we'll see if we can maybe hold this off for the time being.
Oh, also,
Yes.
I think we're gonna need all 4 keys because I think they go in the statue of the Sirac. And
that is exactly what we are going to discuss.
oh,
Once we
great.
gather
Should
everybody
we-
here, whether it
Yeah,
is we deem it prudent to be able to perhaps call upon the powers of the Great One.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool. They should be here shortly. They were just going to cool off, so
Yeah. So after I would say about 20 minutes of them just standing there awkwardly waiting, we show up.
Okay.
Is there still a crowd around us or no?
They're there, and in the meantime, as you guys are waiting, you guys they're going to go ahead and finish kind of their discussion together because it does take a little bit of time for Yuki, Zill, and Thordain to join you.
Can't believe I gave
And-
him a misery. Getting this head and the king doesn't want it. Anyway, that's internal dialogue.
Good internal dialogue. I like it. Character development.
Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, Belvin wouldn't even think of such things. He'd just be like,
True.
sick, I gotta keep the head.
Yeah, there is a little bit of. I don't know if it's necessarily like guilt for the things that you've done, but like you sometimes like you're beginning to a little bit question your maybe antics. Maybe it's like, think twice about doing that the next time.
Yeah, so Yuki and the group show up, and she walks in and looks around. Is it still crowded and a lot of people? Can we see the king and our party? Belvin Luxalia?
Yes, you do see what looks to be a group of dispersing people as they make their way out, and then also kind of standing off to the side, both Belvin and Luxalia.
Yuki gives her traditional Draken curtsy bow thing that they normally give to their higher up leaders and is very respectful. And she's like, "Now, Gorik, glad to see you in good health. It looks like my compatriots are here. Did they tell you about the events that transpired at the Northern Gate?"
They did in great detail.
Oh, great, great. So they told you about the Bloody Bosun attacking the Northern Gate, and they told you about the ships that came, and they told you about, and then I go into talking all about the words that I had heard from the Bloody Bosun. So on his dying breath, he told me that more will come, and that something underneath the island itself, a weapon of sorts, is what they're after. And she hands him like the assortment of rings. Oh, by the way, these are to help pay for the damages. The Northern Gate's not in great shape. And she hands over all the rings, and then she takes the insignia ring, and she's like, this was on the ring finger of the Bloody Baron himself. It looks interesting. It's definitely different than these other ones. Do you recognize this ring from anything? And she hands him over.
And he takes everything, and he looks at them and says, mere trinkets from, I'm going to assume, plundered past civilizations. I am afraid I don't have much use of these things, but I will accept them to perhaps pay for the damages. I do not blame you for the damages. In fact, each and every one of you, I offer a great, great thanks. I do say with each and every one of you, and all of the actions that you have taken within this past day to be able to just help the people of Flamburge is quite selfless indeed. And while some of your antics, and looks at Belbin and his head, are foreign to us, we are very appreciative of the things that you have done and the services that you've been able to offer. Krothos has done nothing but speak good things of you, and, it's something that does my heart good to know that the holders of the Earth Pillar, the key to the Earth Pillar, the protectors, are people of good spirit and good heart, and with good intention. I understand that the group of you stand for something that is greater than just yourselves, even if maybe necessarily the actions that you do, in your adventures and in time might not necessarily reveal to you at the moment. But I have seen in the things that you've done and the sheer impact that you've made on this town. You're good people. You're people that I would like to stand at my side, and I would love to stand at your side. And when the time comes, I'm just hoping that the groups, the bonds that we forge together will stand strong to face whatever darkness lies upon us. This is indeed, and he takes a look at this, the signet ring that you give him. And upon this ring, it is what looks to be a mast. And so a cross mast. And then what is a kind of a tattered looking actual sail that's on it. And there's no other markings on it per se. At least that you can see right off the bat. And he's like, to be honest, I'm not knowing so much about pirate treasure. I like to come by my riches honestly. However, I do believe that there are some on this island that would be able to perhaps gift you some information about these, so keep this. And he goes ahead and he gives you the signet ring back. Perhaps Takai Town might be a good place to look. I do know that there are a few individuals there that know a thing or two about pirates. They might be able to help you in that accord. But before you're leaving here and before your quest begins up north and helping gather the two remaining members of our group here, our protectors of sorts. While you are here and for your time here, I'm going to go ahead and gift you each one of these. And he snaps, and out from the back, he actually bring a couple, people Draken come out holding what look to be cloaks of some kind.
Oh, snap.
These are special. While they're not necessarily ancient or anything too fancy, they are a nice, light, yet durable cloth. And you might find while wearing it, you'll find yourselves more bearable standing the temperatures that are here.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Go ahead and add to each of your guys' inventories. You can add it in the armor section of your inventory. Go ahead and add cloaks of fire protection.
Hey, yeah.
While they don't offer a ton in the realm of defending against attacks, even dragon fire, you will find it more bearable to be able to move about the base of this volcano in them. And by hot weather, whether it's ash raining from the sky, whether it's magma bubbling up from below, the breath that you breathe will be clear. The sensations that you feel will be muted as far as the heat will go, and it will protect you against extreme temperatures of heat. Do note, though, the more you wear them and the longer you wear them, their effects do wane. Use them sparingly. But they should, depending on how long you wish on staying, they should serve you well.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I thank you, good king. Good king, we really appreciate it. We also do have some information as far as the vessels they came on, and she relayed the information about the Bloody Tempest, the boat, the Mariner, and the Centoic. And she's like, two of these don't seem to be pirate ships per se, but they seem to be maybe commandeered civilian/trade ships. I'm nervous about this because I don't know if maybe they were overtaken by pirates or whether or not they're good people who have turned bad, and that's troublesome and worrying to me. We asked a couple of your guards, the ones that were with us, to send word to Takai Town to Gunter in particular, the famed hero of the sea, who happens to be docked there, to come and take a look at these ships. So we just ask that in the meantime, the only favor we'll ask from you is that make sure nothing happens to these ships and no one touches them in the time that Gunter gets here and is able to discover them. There are a bunch of locked rooms and maybe some interesting things that we didn't have the tools to be able to discover really quick. And we're just worried that there may still be some dangers lurking on the ships. So we'd rather not the general public or anyone get their hands on them until Gunter gets here, if that is okay with you.
I will go ahead and double my watch at the northern gate, especially down amongst the shoreline. We will do all that we can to protect those ships, but do know we are no sailors. And if, unfortunately, more, as this bosun boasted, more are on their way, we will do all that we can to be able to protect them. But if it comes to open sea warfare, I do note that we will not be able to be much help against such a threat. Where our powers lie are within our own realms, within our own borders, with our feet firmly on the land. That being said, however, we will do all that we can to be able to protect these. And, in additional thanks, because these boats are in my jurisdiction, I will be able to grant each of you, not each of you, the group of you, a choice of one of these ships to be able to use. It, as you mentioned, some of them maybe were commoner ships and perhaps were commandeered by these unsavory folk, but perhaps there's more information and more secrets to be gleaned from these. And in the meantime, we will do some investigation and figuring out what belongs here. But after our investigations and we're able to take all of our information that we can from them, we will grant you one of these ships. And as mentioned, I do believe that sailing them to Takai Town might serve a good purpose. Takai Town has a very strong naval presence here in the southern islands here in Everlast. And perhaps adding more ships to that fleet might be help as far as helping to protect our shores. We rely on the Takai Town people to be able to sail around and protect our borders on a waterfront. And I do believe that these will be of great help, at least as far as showing some of the muscle and deterring other pirates from attempting to take what is not theirs. And at that point, we're going to go ahead and end our session.
Okay. Whew. Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's good. First session back for 2023, and no combat, but lots of roleplay, so that's good. Kind of progressing the story quite a bit. So things definitely a party to take note of, especially because the next time we will be meeting will be in February. So it's going to be February 11th is our next session. With that being the case, things to note, party, and I guess viewers going off into the future. Some questions that maybe have been brought up. Who is this person who maybe is the captain of these people? What is going on? And also continue to think about, what you can do for the pillar, what you can do for the people around, and, maybe some possible conversations you can have with some of the individuals that perhaps back in Takai Town. Things to think about going forward.
And which of the ships to take.
And which of the ships to take. Yes, that's true. That's true.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
But anyways, Thanks everybody for watching and joining us. This has been really fun, and I'm so glad to finally be back. It was a nice, actually kind of normal length session for tonight. Nothing too terribly long. But we're very happy to be back and going forward into 2023. Dane, do you have anything to mention, anything to add?
A couple of announcements. Again, happy 2023, everyone. I hope everyone had a wonderful and blessed Christmas and New Year. It's been a while since we've been together. Those of you who are here during our normal streamed content, we really do appreciate it. And again, happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you as well. Just some things to look forward to. First and foremost, pertaining to Everlast itself. So again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, we do have an Everlast Instagram that is posted in the about section below. It is the second one below the YouTube channel. So feel free to click that. If you have an Instagram, give it a follow. That is where we're going to be posting all of the updates as far as art, music, maps, all kinds of stuff. Everything, any little thing that comes out with Everlast, that's going to be the first place that you can go to be able to see the wonderful progress of this wonderful game. So feel free to go and give that a follow on the Insta. Anything else? We do have our merch store. We still have continued sales because I haven't changed them yet. So if you're still looking for some merch on a discount, they're still currently discounted. So feel free to do that. Again, all proceeds go towards the creation of the game of Everlast. And also we have some additions to our Patreon. So Kyle, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So the $5 level stays exactly the same. You are a bringer of hope, and so you're going to be able to grant hope to our players, or in the form of blessings. Blessings are actually have some additional uses now in the game of Everlast. So for those of you who are subscribed to the Patreon, being able to use those in the month could actually be of good help. By holding a blessing, players are going to be able to use basically on any roll. They can roll hope with, which is re-roll, take the best, roll 2 dice, take the best of that, or they can use it for certain traits and certain arts. You can essentially use these blessings to be able to gain additional effects, and those for my players are gleaned in your character stuff, so read those. And so there's actually additional uses to be able to help with that. So that's the $5 level. You can use at the $5 level one of those per month. And at the $10 level, we gain access to our monthly map packs. And so essentially what that is every month we're going to release another map pack, which is going to be a plethora of different maps that are going to be used from the streamed content, and then also just kind of extra maps. So if you want to create your own adventures in Everlast and make your own games, you can be able to have those and gain access to those maps by subscribing at the $10 level, and they're yours. And finally, at the $20 level, that's where you have the aforementioned. Oh, and you get 2 hopes that you can use per month. And when we actually go into streaming Adventures of Middle Earth as well, that's one really plus side, is you can actually use those hopes during Adventures of Middle Earth too. And so that's going to be in the form of inspiration for that. So you can kind of split them between, however, give you more opportunities to be able to use what you're paying for. So that'll be fun. And then at the $20 level, you get the 2 per month, you get the map packs, and you get additionally access to the streams, the previous recorded streams of Everlast before it was officially streamed content. So like when it was a D&D game back with us at the very beginning. It's fun to be able to go back and reflect on those, but it adds a ton more content for you to be able to
unlock of it
if you're able to do that. So those are our 3 levels at the Patreon.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they're really cool. Definitely think they're really worth it. Those of you who play tabletop RPGs, D&D, anything, you know that making maps themselves are incredibly time consuming, and oftentimes they're really expensive if you try to go out and get them commissioned. So I think it's just, as far as just bang for your buck, as far as the map packs go, like you're getting way more than you're putting into it, which is awesome. And they're made by the creator of Everlast himself. So you're literally getting
Official
something
product.
from the official product that like is out before the game's actually out, which is really, really cool too. So I definitely think it's some good value, and again, it goes to a good cause. It helps create this game and bring it to the forefront so we can actually produce it and sell it commercially. So feel free to consider doing that. And it's a great game, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. As far as the week ahead goes, we do at some point in the near future, probably the first week of February, just again because it was a little bit of a weird month with January, we'll be coming out with our next podcast of Everlast. So that stay on the lookout for that. Again, that is a YouTube exclusive, so feel free to go over to the YouTube channel to catch up on any of our past Everlast streams, as well as our past podcasts that we have about Everlast. Again, those of you who are unaware about the podcast, if you have any questions about the game, that's where we can answer it. Feel free to put them in the comment section. And if not, it's a great place to get some behind the scenes information about the creation of the game, the thoughts of both Kyle and I and some of the other guys, going into the creation and play testing, some of the lore. Definitely, if you're interested in the lore, we talk a lot about the lore and a lot of the inspirations for the lore as well in the podcast. So it's definitely, if you like Everlast and you want to know more about Everlast, the podcast is a great place to be able to learn more about Everlast. So feel free to consider going on over there. And then starting this new week, we're going to be starting on my end of the channel, we're going to be starting the game Fire Emblem Engage. So that just came out this past Friday. So I'm really looking forward to getting to play that with you guys. And yeah, Friday we're going to have another community stream as well, where we're going to be playing some Jackbox games. So feel free to come on. Yeah.
Dude, let me know how Fire Emblem engages.
I'm
I don't
really
know.
looking forward to it.
I'm like, I can't tell if it's going to be good or not, you know?
From what I hear, spoilers, plug yours if you don't want anything. I hear it's not nearly as story based as, say, Fire Emblem Three Houses was. However, it is very, very combat oriented, and obviously it brings in a lot of tie from a lot of the other Fire Emblem series. So I think if you're a fan of Fire Emblem and you know a lot of the characters,
And if
I
you're
think
a fan of red and blue hair.
yeah, that
And
too.
red and blue
Yes.
eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but if you're a fan of the Fire Emblem series, it seems to be definitely very much like a fan servicey, like bringing in a bunch of characters. Also, they've already released the first DLC, which includes
And no, not
Ado-
fan service in that way. Like,
no.
people who like it.
Yeah, people who like it, who will come and like, oh wow, this is a character I played from forever ago, and on an official Switch thing. But the first round of DLC, I know that they're coming out with one of the champion rings that you can get are Edelgard as well as Dimitri and Claude. They're all together in one ring to rule them all, one ring to bind them. Yeah. Also, in that DLC pack, you can get the Tiki ring, which apparently she's really, really good for leveling characters because she gives you like bonus leveling buffs from having her equipped, which is cool.
That's really cool. Actually.
So it's again good incentive to get the DLC as well, I guess, if you have the money to do so. But we're gonna be starting that this week, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then again, Jackbox games as well. So I don't think I have anything else as far as announcements go. I do currently have a Fantasy Forged TCG. It's literally just all one word, Fantasy Forged TCG Instagram account, where I'm going to be posting a bunch of TCG related content, whether that be Pokemon, even going into like Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic the Gathering. But currently, because again, Fire Emblem's coming out, I will be opening the exclusive set that only released here in Japan, called Final Fantasy, dear Lord, Fire Emblem Zero Cipher, and I'm going to be opening a bunch of packs from all those sets that came out here in Japan. And so it will hopefully at some point, once I get all the boxes in and get my setup set up, we'll have some daily content about TCG stuff as well. So ranging again from Pokemon to anime to video games to all that kind of stuff. So that way, again, I love trading card games, and I don't do any of them on this channel. And so I'm trying to branch out and really make the studio into all facets of nerd culture and video game culture and that kind of stuff. And again, I think it's appropriate, since we're playing some Fire Emblem, that we'll be opening some Fire Emblem Engage boxes. If you don't know what Fire Emblem Engage, dearly, Fire Emblem Zero Cipher boxes. If you've never heard of Fire Emblem Zero Cipher, it's sick. I highly recommend. I highly recommend looking up the sets and stuff. They're really cool. Luckily, since I live in Japan, I can get them cheap. If I was living in America, pretty penny. So I'm glad that I can get them over here cheap. It's a discontinued set, so it's not like they're making anything new with it. Yeah, they came out with 22 sets of them, and then they stopped after the 22nd one. So I have a bunch of the different sets that I'm going to be opening, so stay tuned for that. Daily pack openings are really cool. And the ultra rare cards are cards that are like signed by the voice actors, which are really cool. So they're pretty sweet. So
Japanese voice actors. Sorry, Matt Mercer fans.
Yeah, sorry about that. No Matt Mercer Crom cards. I'm sure you could get one. If you had one, you could get signed by him at some convention at some point, then you could get both of them. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Again, lots of news. Again, the new year started, so hopefully we're not overwhelming. And then again, in the near future, we're going to be starting a Adventures in Middle Earth, Adventures in Middle Earth tabletop RPG thing on Wednesdays as well. So that should be great. We have lots of fun content for you guys. So that's all the news I have. Connor and Cole, do you have anything you want to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm good.
All right.
I will sadly be absent at the next sesh. Sorry, everyone.
Okay.
Max
no
will be there though.
Cool.
And catch our next Coal Forge Great Axe stream next Friday.
Cool.
I think.
Yeah, next Friday. This coming Friday.
Yeah.
What will you be playing, Cole? Do you know off the top of your head?
Nope. We need to make that decision.
Hey, it was really fun. So you played some Fall Guys and you played some what was it called?
Smash Bros.
Smash Bros. And it was really fun.
Yeah.
I rolled D16s and then
Yeah.
later on like D20s, that kind of stuff as well to decide your characters. It was good. It was
Yeah, it was
quality
fun.
time.
Yeah, and I don't know. We might look at some of the suggestions in the Discord. So maybe we'll be playing Cup Guys or something like that. So.
Oh,